How are you feeling? How long have you been here?
3 months, May 17th.
And what brought you?
That's difficult to answer.
Eventually resulted in your being here in the hospital.
That's difficult to answer.
the end. There's a noise inside my head of crying people facing death. Is this the end? Is this the end? Oh, I'm burning in the dystopia. There's no place to hide. I'm burning in the dystopia. This is the final time. What have we done to the world? What have we done to the world? I'm burning in the dystopia. There's no place to hide. I'm burning in the dystopia. This is the final
Won't anybody help us? What are we running for? When there's nowhere we can run to anymore. Can't afford to be innocent. Stand up and face the enemy. It's a do or die situation. We will be invincible. And with the power of conviction, there is no sacrifice. It's a do or die situation. We will be invincible.
And lastly, we ask that there be no recording or streaming of today's sessions from the floor. And any disruptive behavior in today's session will result in being removed from the call.
We please ask that there will be no recording or streaming of today's sessions from the floor. Any disruptive behavior today could result in being removed from the call. So, just be a nice person. So with a little housekeeping things out of the way, let's jump right in.
Again, we ask no recording or streaming of today's session.
We ask that there be no recording or streaming of today's session from the floor. Any disruptive behavior in today's session will result in being removed from the call.
Welcome to my victory lap. Well, you know what? Listen, we had a little bit of a disappointing stream earlier where someone who I thought was my friend and thought I didn't trust him necessarily. I didn't trust Adam King necessarily, but I didn't think he would just completely and totally fuck me over and throw me under the bus and then shit talk me in my audience. I really didn't think that Adam King would do that. I really didn't. So let's just say I am very deeply disappointed in the amount of my time today that Adam King wasted with his Jewish bullshit. I will never support Adam King again. I will never give Adam King an audience again. I will certainly never give Adam King another dime of my money again. I will not give Adam King 1 minute of my attention, because not only did Adam King shit talk me and waste my time and waste Adam Green's time, Adam King also said that my audience was psychotic. Because my audience wanted Adam King to actually read the fucking super chats that he sent him. My audience wanted Adam King to actually talk about something that we cared about. And guess what? We were the only audience that Adam King had on that live stream. Adam didn't have any people of his own. James didn't even give him an audience. We gave him his only audience. And it was just really disappointing. And I really hope the money was worth it, because I was prepared to super chat him a pretty significant amount of money. Just so you guys know, I was prepared to spend hundreds of dollars in super chats today to get my questions from James answered. I really, really was. I was prepared to go up to hundreds of dollars. I was prepared to go to as much as like $500 of super chats. I really was. I was like, if Adam is actually going to force James to answer questions, that is an investment that I will make. But of course, that didn't happen. And then Adam called us all psychotic. So guess what, Adam? You don't have to have my money. You don't get my money. You don't get my support. You don't get my audience. And now, instead of telling people that you're basically the only Jew on the internet that I actually liked, I will tell people that Adam King actually made me significantly more deeply anti-Semitic than I was earlier today. I was like, hey, Adam, I'll go on that trip to Israel with you. I really actually would have done it. I really actually would have. And now I don't trust Adam King as far as I can throw him. So I'm not going on a fucking trip to Israel. like fuck that shit. So I'm actually more anti-Semitic now than I was when I woke up this morning. And it's all Adam King's fault. And that's really that. But you know what? That's not what we're talking about right now. Now that I've gotten that little out of my system, we are talking about something far, far, far better. Are you guys ready for it? This is my victory lap. Because of all the people on the internet bitching about communists and complaining about communists, of all the people on the internet that are claiming to expose communists, of all of the absolute retarded idiots from Portland who are telling people I'm literally Antifa. Do you know what they all have in common? The communists aren't worried about them at all. All of those people who claim to expose the left, no, the communists don't even know who they fucking are. All those people who say I'm secret Antifa, the communists don't even know who they are. Do you know who the communists do know? Do you know who the communists are intimately familiar with? That would be me. They know who I am. And I have deeply impacted their lives. And the reason that we are doing a victory lap today is that there are not one, not two, but 3 communists that I have exposed and have actual video of talking about overthrowing the government. I have exposed Tom Alter, I have exposed Imam Abdel Hardy, and I have exposed Jody Dean. And it's quite possible that I've done one of these other people too, and I just don't remember off the top of my head. But those 3, absolutely, 1,000%. I have clips of every single one of those people talking about overthrowing the government, and they have all gone viral on the internet because of me. You are all welcome. And in one of those cases, Tom Alter got fired from his cushy Texas State University faculty job when I got him on video saying he would overthrow the government. Because apparently the taxpayers in Texas don't want their taxpayer-funded college professors saying that stuff. I can't imagine why. So you know what's happening, and it's starting in about 15 minutes. The socialists that I have literally gotten fired and their friends, who I have exposed when no one else complaining about communism and socialism even knows these people exist, they're all having a little cry fest about me. This is Communist Cry About Karlyn Day. And in about 15 minutes, they're going to be doing a panel through Haymarket Books, which is the largest socialist book publisher in the United States. And they're going to be crying out their feelings about the fact that I secretly record them and put their words on the internet verbatim. And then they get in trouble for saying the things that they said, and then they blame me. And one of the things they do is they say, and I promise you in this program, Tom Alter is going to say, this crazy fascist clipped me out of context. Pinky swear, trust me, bro. Well, the problem, Tom, is that your story about me clipping you out of context doesn't actually align with reality. So here is the original story that I wrote on my Substack, which is Karlyn, KARLYN.substack.com. And in this story, we have video of Tom Alter calling to overthrow the government. That is for sure. what happened is that I went inside and infiltrated a conference called the Revolutionary Socialism Conference. That's literally what it was called. And Tom was a speaker at that conference. And Tom did a whole big thing, and I'll play you the clip of it. He literally called to overthrow the government. And I was like, isn't that funny? And I put that on the internet. But Tom likes to go around and tell people that I cut him out of context. I just want to point this out. This is the original article that I published about this on September 8th, 2025. And I just want to show you guys, I have not edited this article. I have not changed this article. If you go down to the bottom of the article, I have all these different clips of different things Tom said. Just so you know, I didn't take any of it out of context. Here is the full set of his remarks. This video right here, which was also released on Twitter, no one was confused about this. I released absolutely every single thing that Tom Alter said at that conference without being edited at all. The only thing I edited out were parts where he wasn't speaking, and I just put all the parts where he was speaking together in one video, and everyone could have watched that from the very beginning. And do you know what's funny, Tom? When I started emailing people, they always ask, well, what's the full context? And I said, hey, don't worry about it. I got you covered. There's the full context in this article. It is in this video right here, and this is everything he said at the conference. So you are welcome to see that I did not take this clip out of context. I showed you exactly and explicitly what was said. Let me just play you that clip just in case there are some new people here. We'll get the best clip right up at the top here. Let me just set up the sound. Yeah, James Lindsay can bitch and complain all he wants on Adam King's live stream. The fact of the matter is that the only people watching that live stream were my audience and Adam Green's audience, and none of us like him anyway. So he can bitch and complain all he wants about me. But the fact of the matter is, James Lindsay doesn't have communists doing entire live streams about him. I have communists doing entire live streams about me. Here's what Tom Alter said at the Revolutionary Socialism Conference at the beginning of September.
My name is Tom Alter. I'm a member of Socialist Horizon.
Recording in progress.
I'll just say it again. My name is Tom Alter. I'm a member of Socialist Horizon in San Marcos, Texas, and also a member of the Texas State Employees Union, affiliated with the CWA. As anarchists, these insurrectionists explicitly reject the formation of a revolutionary party capable of leading the working class to power. Without organization, how can anyone expect to overthrow the most bloodthirsty, profit-driven, mad organization in the history of the world, that of the U.S. government?
2 minutes, comrade.
Thank you. As Steve mentioned, a revolutionary party needs a revolutionary situation for the working class to win power. We are not in that situation now, though it may be coming soon, as the crisis of capitalism only continues to deepen and capitalists look to war and fascism to save their profit system. If we do not build a revolutionary party now, this is surely our future. What we do now is incredibly important. We must educate ourselves and others in Marxism and the history of class struggle. We are by no means just a reading club. Our tasks are laid out in the Communist Manifesto. We must participate in the struggles of our class, whatever they may be, from joining union picket lines to defending trans people. And then, as communists, connect these numerous struggles of our class into a fight against the source of our oppression, capitalism. Through struggle, we can win reforms along the way, giving confidence to our class. This is how we build a mass party. Reforms are not enough, though. If the working class is not in power, those reforms can be lost, as we have seen in recent times. We must build a revolutionary socialist party now, so that when a revolutionary situation arises, the working class has the tools and organization it needs to take power. To conclude, have confidence, build workers' power, be a firebrand for a socialist horizon. Thank you.
Recording stopped.
Thank you, comrade, and excellent timing.
Hey, Tom. Is it true that Texas State trains the most public school teachers in the country? I remember that stat circling around like a couple years ago when Texas State was getting all like the shit that it always gets for being like the lesser school in Texas.
Yeah,
I remember somebody saying Yeah, exactly. But I remember somebody saying, I remember like that getting circulated around that it like trains like the most public sector teachers in the country.
That it definitely is for Texas because that's what it was it was started as a teacher school. Actually, that's what Lyndon Johnson went here. So
Yeah.
I can't wait till the day when we tear down the Lyndon Johnson statue on campus as
Hell
well.
yeah.
But yeah, so then Texas State's grown. It's now like the 19th largest school campus in the country. So that would kind of make sense that it could be in training for teachers in the country. So I haven't actually heard that, and they usually do kind of trumpet those statistics when it is.
Yeah.
But we do a lot. That's most of my students as well. They're a lot of them are education majors. So
history education. Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, look at this! Look at this chat we just got in from Duncan over on Twitter. I am an engineering undergrad at Texas State University. Alter was my professor for one of my philosophy requirements I had to check off. Thank you so much for shining a light on this cockroach ideology. Professors that hate America should not be funded by Americans, nor should they be allowed to teach students. Thank you, Duncan. I really do appreciate that because obviously you guys might imagine I've gotten a little bit of blowback since I got this guy fired from Texas State University. So essentially what happened is after I released that clip, the clip went viral on the internet. Now, the interesting thing was literally 0 Republicans spoke out against this guy. I sent this to every Republican politician, both nationally and in the state of Texas nationally that had something to do with Texas. So I sent it to Ted Cruz and Chip Roy and people like that. Of course, none of them said anything. I sent it to the governor of Texas. I had several phone calls with his audience in which they never said anything, or with his people rather, which they never said anything. I sent it to Ken Paxton, who's the attorney general in Texas, who never said and did nothing. Literally, I sent this to all the different Republicans I could think of, and none of them said anything, but it didn't really matter because the clip went viral anyway. And then kind of like a local Texas independent media site picked it up, and then they started causing problems at Texas State University. So Texas State University did fire Tom Alter, and then they were forced by a court order to hire him back, and then they fired him again. And so now what's going on is, and the reason that we are gathered here today for this stream, and they just started the stream, by the way, but they're just playing music for right now. We still got another several minutes. You can see they're doing a 10-minute countdown on the stream. So that is actually started live. But what they're doing now is the communists have developed this committee to defend Tom Alter. And so what they're trying to do is they're trying to pressure Texas State back into hiring him again. Now, I posted a video about this earlier today. It went out at the same time as a live stream did, so it didn't actually get that many views, and I'm pretty pissed off about that. But I need everyone's help, okay? There is something that you guys can do while we're watching this stream. I need everyone to send an email to president@txstate.edu, the same email that the socialists are using. And I need you guys to encourage them to keep Tom Alter fired. Because right now what's happening, and the reason they're doing this stream today, and the reason the socialists have formed a whole organization around getting this guy his job back. We cannot allow this. He is a professed communist wanting to teach at a taxpayer-funded university and use university resources to organize communism on campus. We cannot allow this. The state of Texas should not be allowing this. He called for the overthrow of the U.S. government. He is calling for a revolutionary socialist organization. A revolutionary socialist organization is an organization that wants a revolution, which means overthrowing the government. This is very, very, very simple and very, very, very clear. Tom Alter was shit-talking reformism in that presentation. Do you guys know what reformism is? Reformism is basically the idea. Reformism is the DSA. The DSA, who people like Tom Alter actually considered the DSA to be traitors. The DSA are reformists because they want to win elections and make small incremental changes over time. Tom Alter hates reformists. He said it in that clip. Tom Alter hates the DSA. He considers them to be traitors to the revolutionary cause. That's because Tom Alter doesn't believe in winning elections and making small incremental changes. Tom Alter believes in overthrowing the government, which is exactly what he said in this clip. And it is a goddamn travesty. And can someone please put the email address in the chat? It's president@txstate.edu, president@texasstate.edu. The socialists are trying to get everyone and their mother to send emails to this email address saying, hire him back, this is unfair, freedom of speech, blah, 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 whatever. We are the only people they are going to hear from that are going to provide the other side of this. Because as I told you, Republicans aren't doing anything. Republicans refuse to speak out against this guy because they don't like me, because I don't like Israel, and I say things they don't like on Twitter. And so therefore, Republicans have no problem with a communist continuing to teach at a taxpayer-funded university in Texas because it's all personal bullshit to them, and that's all that really matters to them. So this is us versus the communists, guys. This is literally the situation. This is my community versus the fucking communists, and we have to win. This guy cannot get his job back. If this guy gets his job back, that sets a horrible precedent. And by the way, it's happening in a red state. If this guy gets his job back, it sets the precedent that a communist can work at any taxpayer-funded job in Texas and no one actually really cares, and they have to continue to pay them even if they're using their state-funded job in Texas to organize communist overthrow of the government. This is a ridiculous precedent to set. It cannot happen, and we have to be emailing the president of Texas State to show him that he has our support. And I don't want to hear any fucking complaining. Someone said on my Substack earlier, they're like, Karlyn, this is cancel culture, and so I'm not going to do it. You know what I said to him? Then you are useless to me in fighting the far left. Because if you cannot send an email saying that taxpayers should not be funding fucking communist organizing on taxpayer-funded college campuses, I don't know what, you are no use to me. Like, really, you're no use to me at all in terms of fighting the far left, because you're never going to get anything fucking done. We cannot allow this person to get hired back. No one is going to come and help us. We have to do it ourselves. If 300 people sent an email right now to the president of Texas State University, that would absolutely make an impact. Our side needs to speak up in the way that their side is speaking up. Otherwise, they're going to win and we are going to be fucked. Does everyone understand? Everyone's always asking me, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Email president@txstate.edu, president@texasstate.edu. Email that address right now and say, sir, and be polite in your emails, by the way. Sir, I want to encourage you to uphold the firing of Tom Alter. We do not support communists in taxpayer-funded positions at public universities. That is what you can do. That is what you can do right now. You can do it at any time during the stream. And if you do not do it, do not fucking whine and complain, and do not ever ask me what you can do again, because this is about as low bar as I can give you. Just send a very nice, polite email to that address and say, President Damphouse, Kelly Damphouse is the president's name, but we respect him with the title, President Damphouse. We want to encourage you to continue to uphold the firing of Tom Alter. We do not support communists on taxpayer-funded college campuses. That's what you can do. All right. The presentation is about 3 minutes away. Guys, if you want to support the work I'm doing and keep me in business, I am 100% funded by people like you. I can only do stuff like this if people like you allow me to do it. So make sure you're signed up on my Substack, $8 a month, $80 a year, and you guys keep me in business. And I want to thank all the people who become new supporters recently. You can also support me by sending in super chats. You can support me by becoming a member of the channel. And those are the main ways. You can buy merch in my merch store too. The link is in the description below. But I really like when people join my Substack. That is my number one way that I would have people support my work. And so please head over to Karlyn, KARLYN.substack.com. Link in the description below. Sign up for $8 a month, $80 a year. You get a variety of perks, including access to Spy Stream. And we're having a big spy stream this weekend that I haven't talked about yet, guys. There is a big spy stream this weekend, and it will only be available to supporters on my Substack, my locals, my Patreon, my Twitter subscribers, or YouTube channel members. So make sure you sign up as a supporter on one of those platforms now, and you'll be able to join us for an epic spy stream this weekend. All right, let's go back. There are about 2 minutes left of this before they get started. Wait, am I behind? Shit, I might be behind. Hang on. I'm behind. Okay, we're live. We're doing this live. We're going to keep the chat up. And if you say something in their chat, please be polite. Again, we do not spam people's chats. We do not shitpost in people's chats. If you say something in the chat, be polite and ask a relevant question. Otherwise, you're going to fuck it up for everyone else, okay? So we keep things above board. We play it straight at all times. If you spam their chat or shitpost in their chat, you are going against my wishes. And if you go against my wishes over there, I will ban you over here. And I'm not joking about that. Okay. So they're getting ready to get started. Let's tune in.
If you miss an event, you can listen to the recording afterward by subscribing to our podcast, Haymarket Live, wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah, we're going to
Before
watch
we
that
begin,
Brian Bean talk.
A few
soon,
housekeeping
too.
items. We are moderating the chat, but we cannot guarantee that everyone will observe our community guidelines. People who violate these guidelines will have their comments deleted as quickly as we are able. This event will have live closed captions. Instructions for accessing the captions will be posted in the chat. We should have time for Q&A. So please post your questions.
Guys,
in
if
the
people
YouTube chat
shitpost
window,
in the chat, they
and we'll
are
get
going to
those later in the
answer our
program.
questions, okay?
Thanks for joining us today.
So it's really
Our event
important.
will
Do
begin
not
shortly.
shitpost in the chat. Thank you to everyone who sent an email so far. I really appreciate it. They need to know that they have people on their team. Okay.
Greetings and welcome everybody to
Hi.
tonight's really important event. My name is Bill
Extremely
Mullen.
important.
I am a member of Socialist Horizon and also a member of the Committee to Defend Tom Alter. And we're grateful to Haymarket Books tonight for the platform to allow these great speakers to come at you tonight. I'm standing in tonight for Dave Zirin, who was hoping to be our moderator tonight, but he's got a family obligation. But we're fortunate to have an incredible lineup of people to talk about the crisis we're in and how to fight back. We titled tonight's event, Tom Alter, MAGA McCarthyism and the Fight for Free Speech. As many of you may know by now, Tom was a tenured professor of history at Texas State University. On September 10th, he was fired.
No, I can't turn
summarily
up the
without
stream
due
anymore. It is
process
what it is, guys.
by
Gotta
his
deal with
university
it.
administration for speaking at a online
Turn up your
virtual
volume.
socialism conference in his capacity as a private citizen in an event which had nothing to do with the university. Tom is also a member of the group Socialist Horizon. His firing is part of a larger wave that we are all well aware of at this moment of massive political repression, including the repression of the right to speak. Especially since Trump's been elected, we've seen arrests, deportations, other forms of discipline against students, against faculty, against campus workers of all kinds. We are really in a fight for our lives right now. And we're lucky to have tonight a bunch of fighters, people who have been in long time fights for free speech, for radical politics, for solidarity of all kinds. And that's what we wanted to kind of project tonight, was the ability and the necessity of fighting back and how to think about how to do that. The format for this evening will be as follows. Each of the speakers will talk for about 7 to 10 minutes, offering their reflections on events. One of our speakers tonight, David McNally, will be represented by pre-recorded remarks. David is in London tonight. It's really late there, but he wanted to be part of the event anyway.
It's going to be really hard to
and
see the
then,
chat with the other chat, so I would prefer not
and then
to,
we
because
will
I want
kind
to
of
see what's
wrap
going
up
on in their chat.
after the presentations with some comments and reflections from Tom Alter himself, who we're lucky to have here tonight. In the chat that you can see on your screen, hopefully, there is a list of the sponsors for tonight's event. We're really grateful to all of them, many of them academic unions.
Oh, Steve Lee's in the
Jewish Voice
chat.
for Peace,
Steve
Labor for
Lee, we know him.
Palestine. In addition, it's tremendous to have that kind of solidarity for this evening. There's also in the chat a link a couple links provided by the committee to defend Tom for ways you can help support the campaign right now. He has a very important hearing coming up on Monday where we've had 4,000 people write letters to Texas State University.
They've had 4,000 people write letters,
If you'd like
guys.
to participate in that, you can go to the chat and follow along.
4,000.
So I'm going to introduce each speaker tonight in the order that they're going to speak, but I'm going to introduce them prior to each of their set of remarks. So our first speaker tonight will be Iman Abdelhadi. Iman is a scholar, organizer, and writer based in Chicago. She's an assistant professor of sociology in the Department of Comparative Human Development at the University of Chicago. She co-wrote the revolutionary sci-fi wonderful novel, Everything for Everyone, an oral history of the New York Commune.
It's about the future socialist utopia. That's what that book is about.
She also writes a regular column on Palestine and politics for In These Times magazine, and her essays have appeared in Jacobin, Truth Out, Zateo, and other publications. So my pleasure to welcome you, Iman.
Thank you so much for having me here, and to Haymarket and Bill for organizing, and for gathering us together to talk about this important topic. We are in dire circumstances. In the Palestine Solidarity Movement, we often say that we are not liberating Palestine, Palestine is liberating us. And over the last 2 years, we have seen Palestine hold up a mirror to every institution in our society, and expose the gaps in the rights that we are told that we have, in the freedoms that we are told that we have, expose the actual motivations of our institutions, and the logic by which they operate. And what we've learned over the last 2 years of genocide in Palestine is that effectively our universities are not oriented towards their main stakeholders. They're not oriented towards faculty and staff and students. They are oriented towards the interests of donors, and boards of trustees, and other groups that effectively don't have education at heart or in mind. So we have been told that we have academic freedom, and yet we have watched our colleagues get suspended, get disciplined, get fired, get harassed with very little protection from their institutions. We are told that these are institutions that care about the exchange of ideas and free speech, and yet we've watched our students get their heads bashed in, and arrested and harassed and disciplined by the very institutions that are meant to.
They want to overthrow the
foster their
university too,
growth.
guys.
So what Palestine has exposed is a gap that has always existed in universities around populations that are deemed disposable, and that are deemed surplus populations that the state and that the ruling class do not value. These institutions have long had destructive impacts on Black communities, destructive relationships with Indigenous communities. And it is no surprise that when it comes to Palestine and when it comes to Israel, they are putting Israel first and putting the interests of donors first. So I think this set of circumstances that we're facing, and it's also no surprise that the sort of liberalism of universities has opened the door for the escalation by the Trump administration.
Communists do not like liberals.
Of American academia. Those doors were already opened before this current administration.
They're complaining about
but
the
this
university
administration has
as an
waltzed right
institution.
in and is actively destroying the remnants of these institutions. So the question becomes, what do we do? And I think that the answer is not in
No
trying
one should
to
be
pretend
okay.
like
All right. I want to say this again. If I see you shit posting in their chat, I will ban you in my chat should I see your name pop up here. So if you don't want to get banned in my chat, stop shit posting in their chat right now. You do not help our community. You do not help our cause. You do not impress me. You're just going to get banned over here. Stop shit posting in their chat now.
we need to fight for a radical vision of what the university could be and has not been. The university could be a commons in American society. We are in a society of where people are deeply isolated from one another, where the very concept of the truth is constantly under attack, where there are very few spaces for collegiality and exchange. The university could be this center of knowledge production, of knowledge exchange, of conversation, of radical and borderless engagement with ideas. It would need to transform itself from anything that it's been under the sort of long history of settler colonialism, racial capitalism, and empire. It would have to really destroy its own borders, destroy the borders between it and the communities that it exists in. Right now, as Devarian Baldwin's book, In the Shadow of the Ivory Tower, shows, having a university in your town likely means that you will no longer be able to afford to live in the area, that you will have no access to this institution that gets public funding and tax exemptions. But what if we imagined the university and organized towards...
Oh, she froze. Just as I spilled coffee on myself, she froze. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What's going on? What's going on, Mom? I can hear someone.
You're frozen, Mom. Can you
Yeah.
hear us?
Yeah, she's frozen. Uh-oh. It's over.
Okay, I think we might have lost her for a minute.
Imam Abdel Hardy recently got arrested in Chicago for protesting outside of the ICE facility. That's why she's there. She also hates the universities as institutions. You guys got to realize socialists don't believe that universities are on their
tell you
side.
what,
They believe
Why don't
universities are
we, while this
creating
gets
new
figured out,
capitalists,
why don't we
essentially.
move to Jody Dean, and then we'll
Yeah,
come
let's hear
back
from
to Iman
Jody.
when she's
Jody believes
reconnected.
in the violent overthrow of the
I
government.
meant to say, if you have questions tonight for the speakers, you can enter them into the chat on your screen, and they will be passed on to us. We really encourage that. We will have a Q&A after all the speakers.
We
have a
will be
chance to go
asking
tonight.
smart questions
So
in their
please
chat. No fucking
consider
dumb,
that as you're
stupid
listening
shit
tonight.
questions.
All
We are only
right,
asking
Jody,
smart questions in their
grateful
chat.
that she's here tonight. She's in London. It's really late there, as you would know. But
Denver
she's been
communists are
really
there.
stellar supporter of Tom, and obviously somebody who's fought her own fights in the academy and outside. She is professor of politics at Hobart and William Smith Colleges. Her most recent books are Comrade, an essay on political belonging, and Capital's Grave, Neo-Feudalism and the New Class Struggle, both published by Verso. And Jody, welcome and glad to have you here. Take it away.
Thanks. I'm really happy to be here. Just to be able to, express solidarity with Tom, who I feel like has shown incredible bravery and
Yes,
grace,
very
in
stunning
dealing
and
with
brave,
such
Tom.
a
Very stunning
hard
and
and
brave.
stressful time. I mean, it's a nightmare dealing with lawyers every day and dealing with the uncertainty. So just all of the solidarity with Tom. As
Solidarity,
Bill
comrade.
was saying, what we're seeing in what Tom's case is an instance of is a broader set of processes and actions and attacks that supporters of Palestinian liberation, Black liberation, trans liberation. have
I'm
been
a supporter
enduring.
of Palestinian
That is
liberation,
a very
you
long
stupid bitch.
history in the Red Scares and McCarthyism that have gone after socialists and communists in this struggle. I mean, there's a lot of
Yes.
context here
New
that we need to
McCarthyism,
make sure
McCarlinism.
we keep in mind. So I'm going to say a few words tonight. I mean, actually, there's a lot very much like along the same lines that Iman was speaking. So I want to talk a little bit about the general attack on free speech, the specificity of the academic context.
Someone called me a
and
pig.
then, unfortunately, more briefly, what's next. So as I was saying, and as Iman was saying so beautifully, the
Whatever.
attack on free speech has been going on for a while now.
They insult me because
And
I won and they
in the
lost.
last few years, we've seen it most dramatically in the violent repression of students and faculty organizing for BDS and for speaking out against Israel and the United States genocide of the Palestinians. This is not new with Trump, right? It was happening on
I didn't even
college
vote
and
for
university
Trump.
campuses during the Biden administration. It's been happening on different states, right? In different states. It's not like, and sometimes it feels like the only thing that gets covered is if it happens at Columbia or Harvard. But this kind of repression has been happening in multiple states since way before the Trump administration. Florida is like the poster child here, and Texas is doing its best to catch up, and maybe has now surpassed Florida in its repressive attacks on
I wish.
faculty.
I wish,
It's
Jody.
also been happening this general sense, this kind of general repression of free speech and of political speech in particular. It's also been happening on college and university campuses across the board, right? As administrators comply with the most regressive tendencies in the country, enacting various forms of surveillance, censorship, and repression in order to comply with far right and Zionist trustees and donors and shield themselves from scrutiny. So we've seen this at multiple levels, from the Trump administration to different states to college and university campuses. And then maybe, and perhaps even most disturbingly, this assault on free speech and political expression has been intensifying socially and culturally, online, in social media, on campus.
You call for a violent revolution, Jody.
And what can be said is intensely politicized.
You are calling for violence.
Criticizing political figures is equated with political violence, while actual violence is either unchecked or encouraged, depending on who's carrying it out. Still, as we see on campus and online, after 40 years of neoliberalism and its intensified inequality, people feel unsafe. Words feel like missiles, and anything but support and agreement can make people feel like they don't have a place. They can just feel completely unsafe. And now this sense, right, or this expression of feelings is getting people fired, expelled.
I will always be recording you guys.
Arrested.
Always.
So this is our environment. And so against this background, I want to talk a little more about the specificity of the university and what's been changing. Faculty tend to make assumptions about the spaces we're in. Like, we have an idea of who we're speaking to, how we're speaking. Like, if we're speaking to peers in a meeting, right, we speak one way. If we're speaking to first-year students, another way. To graduate students, still another way. And we know the difference between playing devil's advocate, between stretching an argument to see what happens, reading a text.
I have a
PhD.
PhD.
So we say different things in different kinds of settings, right? Some in our academic settings and some in our political work. And it depends on what the goals and the expectations of a general discussion are. And faculty in particular often act from a sense that we have a degree of control over our classroom, right? That in a classroom we can rely on a degree of trust, right? Some kind of minimal set of common values. We think the same way when we're in settings like this, when we're in academic meetings, that there's a degree of
You're
trust.
live on
Well,
the internet, Jody.
Right? This no
you are
longer holds.
on the
We can't
internet.
take this for granted.
This is
And
not a
it's not just
trusting
about
environment.
disagreement, right? It's actually about political struggle. We don't know who's in our classroom, right? Or who's in the Zoom conference, or taping us watching things on YouTube, who's recording us, and who's editing and distributing our remarks.
That's
with their
who's
own
recording you.
bosses.
Me.
There was a terrible troll who went after Tom. This troll identifies as an anti-communist fascist.
As a fascist.
And attends conferences and webinars and takes videos. She did this to me as well.
Yes.
She took clips from a comment, for a set of comments I made at Red Nay, which led to a whole bunch of different emails to the president, administrators, and all this at the colleges where I teach, other people, department chairs, and so on. And this died down for a while. And then after the Charlie Kirk assassination, someone emailed the president and the others again with this video clip, this edited video clip, with the message had a subject head, a shot through the neck of Jody D. Now, most of the email was about imagining how the president would, of the colleges where I teach, would actually be tortured and punished for having a communist on his faculty. So this is the lay of the land.
We're winning.
Right? We don't have safe spaces.
We are winning.
To actually think that we can express ideas, think that we can share political ideals with one another, think that we can think together. That's gone now. Now, we also know that many, many faculty, especially Black women faculty, Arab faculty, faculty who are not native English speakers, queer and trans faculty who, for whatever reason, don't conform to the professor norm, that they've had to endure things like this for a very, very long time.
I broke her.
Now we're seeing a version of
I
this
win.
repeat the anti-socialist and anti-communism, anti-socialism and anti-communism.
McCarlinism. McCarlinism is on the rise, Jody.
Now as official policy, particularly in Texas, even when it expressly violates the law. So,
Tough
what
cookie.
do we do? Well, like the bare minimum, the only way
You sit there
to
and
fight
take
back
it.
is through solidarity.
Ooh.
That's like the hardest thing in the world for academics, right? It's like an occupational hazard where academics often think like they're the smartest person in the room or the expert,
No,
right?
I'm
The
the smartest
professors are the
person
ones
in the
who
room.
grades. And lots of times, depending on our institution, we're like fighting over scraps, while administrators inflict all sorts of cuts and make us do more with less. But there's something in the academic attitude that cherishes the power to reward and punish, to dispense the award that impacts someone's life chances, grading, recommending, hiring, and tenuring. It's like we hold on to that little bit of boss power that we wield over others to detract ourselves from what's really going on. And we have to get rid of this mindset. We have to overcome our attachment here in order to build the struggle we need and create the sort of institutions that can make a better world. So this directly connects then with the last point I want to make, which is about, what next? And that has to be this changing of our mindset within the academy toward a solidarity mindset. And then we have to extend that far beyond the academy, recognizing the campus as part of a neighborhood, a city, a state, a country, the world, which means supporting unions for staff, for graduate students, for everyone, right? We have to think about what's possible, free speech and free tuition, right? Tenure and sabbaticals for everyone, reading books instead of AI slop. And we have to be willing to push for it, right? Why not a general strike? I want to end with a line I listened to.
General strike, you don't say, Jody.
I'm also in London right now at HM, and so I was listening to Mamdani's speech. It was so exciting to see him win. I was listening to his speech, where he says towards the end, we have to respond to authoritarianism with the strength it fears rather than the appeasement it craves. I think we have to keep this line in mind and make this our North Star as we fight not just for scraps in the current system, but together to build a new one.
Bravo.
Bravo,
Thank you,
Jody. Thank you for
Right on.
highlighting me, Jody.
Very
Thank you for
inspiring.
crying
Thank you.
about me on the internet. I really
Happily,
appreciate it.
Iman has come back. Her internet connection broke.
That was
but
so
she's
great.
come
Was that
back
good for you
strong.
guys? That was
And so we're
fucking
gonna turn back
awesome.
to her and
That
let
was
her
so
finish her
great.
remarks.
I really
Thank
do
you, Iman.
appreciate Jody for crying about me
Thank
so
you so much,
beautifully.
and what a pleasure to get to hear Jody speak as well. Yeah, I was, I think, cut off when I was making the case for the university as a commons, as a place that offers society a public good, a set of public goods, that the university should be something you look forward to. It's something everyone wants to live near, right? Because it gives you potentially access to community and knowledge and
I'm feeling so
and
proud right
conversation.
now.
And I think that means
All my hard work paid
defending
off.
academic freedom, but also expanding it to staff, emphasizing that the freedom to think, the freedom to critique, the freedom, these are freedoms that are fundamental to our society and should be fundamental to our society, and that universities can facilitate as institutions whose mandate is to produce and exchange knowledge. And I think until we fight for that, we are going to continue to see attacks on the university, and we're not going to see the American public come to our defense. I think there's a
No, we're
reason that
not
people
coming
didn't
to
take
your
to the
defense.
streets when Harvard was attacked, or Northwestern, or any of these institutions. We have not managed to articulate our benefit to the broader society.
Correct,
And so
Amam.
I think that for us who organize in universities, this needs to be the sort of radical horizon that we think about, that we aim towards, that we build towards step by step, is the university as truly a public good. And I think we can only do that in coalition between different sectors within the university. It's taking seriously our role as workers, taking seriously the university as a workplace, as a site of struggle, and effectively sort of, unionizing.
They're
where we are
counting
not
down to general
unionized,
strike in the chat.
organizing amongst our unions, asking our unions to be spaces of political struggle where they do exist. So I think I think to the extent that Palestine has exposed to us all the kind of gaps in how the university functions, gaps that have been there the whole time, but have expanded under this fascist regime.
Very fast.
I think also Palestine has been showing us how we can build towards a better university and the sort of academic freedom and free speech. And I just really want to echo something that Jody said, which is, I've been getting death threats because of these right-wing trolls that have effectively repackage things I've said.
Cry, bitch, cry, mom.
And it is true that we are in this moment where
she's upset at me
many
too.
of us are facing great personal risk and a level of personal attack that maybe we haven't experienced before. But that's no reason to shy away from this challenge. And in fact,
you wrote a book
this is
about the
something
future
we can
communist
reflect back
utopia,
to the
mom.
society to say, this is the effect, this is what happens when you destroy these venues of conversation. So I'm happy to be here with all of you and to support you, Tom, in this struggle. And I look forward to more conversation afterwards.
Thank you so much, Iman. Palestine shows the way every time. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Palestine
Really
shows the way.
appreciate that. Our next speaker is somebody who's played a really key role in helping to defend Tom in the state of Texas. Katarina Kissinger is an organizer with the Texas State Employees Union, which is one of the sponsors of tonight's event. Where she
Oh, so
helped
yeah,
lead
this
the
one's
union's
talked about me
campaign
online too.
in
Yeah,
defense of Tom,
this one has
and
written
works to
whole
build
posts
collective
about me
power
online.
among faculty, staff, and student workers in higher education, an amazing ally in this work. Katarina, happy to have you here. Please go ahead.
She frozen? Is she frozen? She's fucking frozen.
Okay.
It's over.
Frozen. Okay.
Socialist
That's
technology
okay.
wins again.
We can deal with frozen. If Katarina's frozen, then what I would recommend perhaps is that we move to David's presentation, and let me preface that in case Katarina doesn't come back quickly by saying that David McNally, who is in London tonight, will speak by recorded remarks. Yes, he's taught history and political economy at the University of Houston, not far from where Tom works, and York University in Toronto. He is currently director of the Project on Race and Capitalism. He is the author of 8 books, including most recently Slavery and Capitalism, a New Marxist History, published earlier this year by the University of California Press. David wants to make clear that he is speaking tonight in his own name, not that of the university where he works. So,
well, that doesn't
why
always
don't we have a
mean
look at
anything
David's
because
remarks
universities
then?
don't like employing communists.
I'm David McNally. I teach at the University of Houston, and I'm honored to be here on behalf of Tom Alter today. I'm sorry that I can't join the live broadcast of this event because I'm in France doing research at the moment. But we're called really at a moment of danger to embrace our moral and political responsibilities as Tom Alter, a distinguished
Communist.
teacher,
Communist.
researcher,
Communist.
social justice advocate,
Communist.
is confronted with something that affects all of us and affects all of us deeply. Dr. Alter is personally confronted with the loss of livelihood, career, income, professional status, and position.
Oh no.
But more than this, we're challenged now because this is a right-wing McCarthyite hit job.
Yes, it is.
And
Yes,
the
it is.
administration of
Yes,
Texas State
correct.
University
Yes.
has capitulated to this fundamental attack on the very moral, intellectual, and legal.
I am the
mission
McCarthy of
the
our
university.
generation.
Tom Alter is the victim of a far-right disingenuous hit job.
Yes,
which
not
deliberately
disingenuous.
misrepresented
Nope.
his words and his
I released the
views
full
in
clip,
order
motherfuckers.
to prosecute a witch hunt. The
Ooh.
complicity of the Texas State University administration in this witch hunt is frankly appalling. They have violated the
They don't want to
intellectual
employ
mission of
communists.
the university, which is to create a safe haven for free inquiry, research,
Not calls to
questioning,
overthrow the
and
government.
the publication and dissemination of new knowledge and information. They have violated the moral mission of the university, which is to be a bastion of the exercise of fundamental rights
Not
of
calls
free
to
inquiry
overthrow
and
the
free
government.
speech. And of course, they violated the legal mission, which is to
He's almost
protect
spitting.
those
He's
rights
so mad
that
he's
are
almost
guaranteed
spitting.
in the United States Constitution with respect to freedom of speech, never mind freedom of assembly and related liberties. So this attack on Tom Alter is an attack on fundamental political, moral, and legal rights. If we don't respond to it in kind, if we don't build the largest defense and solidarity campaign with Dr. Alter, we are failing not only him, we're failing ourselves.
Challenge
we're failing the future
accepted.
generations.
Challenge
so let me
accepted.
restate for the record.
You will not win.
Tom Alter is a distinguished teacher.
Communist.
He has published a highly acclaimed book on the history of farmer and labor movements in Texas.
Because he's a communist.
He demonstrates there that socialist ideas, like his own, are an enduring part of the political culture of the lower classes in the United States and in Texas.
We don't want socialism at taxpayer-funded universities.
Who is also a social justice advocate, he's now being persecuted because he represents that fine and distinguished
He got fired for calling to
of farmer
overthrow the
labor
government.
radicalism and socialism within the United States. I really wish we could all do more than we've been able to now, but every little bit that we do to publicize Tom Alter's case,
Please publicize
to
it. Please do it.
sign petitions,
Please keep whining
raise
about me.
funds,
Please keep
pressure
talking
the
about
Texas
me.
State University
Please keep
board
calling me the
and
new
its
McCarthy. You guys are going to build
is
my whole brand.
indispensable. On a personal note, let me say that I met Tom Alter at a union assembly.
No kidding.
In Texas.
Union.
A little over a year ago.
Who would have
And
thought?
I discovered him there to be a kind, thoughtful, generous individual, completely dedicated to the pursuit of social justice. If we let individuals
Communism.
like this be dismissed from the university system today, we are creating a monster that is coming for all of us.
Yes,
we all
you
know the
are.
old slogan, "An
Yes,
injury to
you
one is an
are.
injury to all."
And that's me.
In this case, let's make it very specific. An injury to Tom Alter is an injury to us all. So let's stand together.
Challenge accepted.
Let's build this campaign. Let's get Tom Alter reinstated, and let's send a message to the far right and the neo-Nazis and all of those administrators and politicians who engage in complicity with them, that we are drawing a line here, we're defending Tom Alter, and that this attempt to create a McCarthyite witch hunt stops here. Thank you.
Oh, honey, I will win every day of the week, and it's
Thank
not
you
even
so
going to be
much,
close.
David.
We are
I know you can't hear
winning.
us right now,
We
but
are
we hear you.
winning. They are terrified of us,
absolutely.
and it's
Solidarity all the
specifically
way.
us.
Thank you for making
Not a
the effort
generalized
tonight.
us, specifically
I will
us.
say one thing. Tom's campaign has
They're
get
doing an entire
international
presentation about how
support. We've
terrified
had
they are of me.
letters and calls from people
I
in
won.
France and from Brazil and from England and from Ireland. Texas State University.
And we're just getting
knows
started.
very
My
clearly
power is just
that
beginning to
this
grow.
is a disgrace that they've wrought and that the world is watching, and that we're not going to rest until Tom receives justice. Katerina Kissinger is having some connection problems, but I am delighted to see my good
They
friend
have
and
no
comrade
clue
Karim
how much of their
Matar
shit we have
has
recorded.
been
That's
able to
exactly
join
right.
us
They have
tonight,
no
coming
clue how
straight
much shit
from
we have
another
recorded.
event for Palestine. a
Yeah, I
brilliant
should do
event
that.
on the
I
history
should.
of the
I'm gonna make
ADL,
a good shirt.
and how to fight
I
back
am the
against
new
that.
McCarthy.
It's an honor to introduce Kareem. He is a friend and a tremendous scholar and activist. He is Associate Professor of English at the University of Colorado at Boulder, a descendant of survivors of the
I went
Palestinian
undercover at the
Nakba of
University of Colorado at
1948.
Boulder.
He works at the intersection of Palestine studies, the humanities, and higher education. He is currently at work on writing The Catastrophe, Trauma and Responsibility Across Generation, a monograph that interweaves personal experience, family history.
Yeah, I'll make a McCarlinism shirt
to tell a multi-generational transcontinental story of responsibility to Palestine. Kareem is co-chair of the Coalition for Action in Higher Education Palestine Caucus and faculty editor of the American Association of University Professors Journal of Academic Freedom. The Coalition for Action in Higher Education is also one of the sponsors of tonight's events. We're really grateful for their support. Kareem, it's delightful to have you here. The floor is yours. Thank you.
So much. Bill, can you see and hear me okay?
Yes.
Just flip vertically. Okay, it's such an honor to be here and to lend my support to Tom's case and into our collective struggle against emergent fascism and authoritarianism in the United States and genocide globally. For many of us, our friend and comrade Tom Alter's case has put into the sharpest relief yet the intersectional nature of the threats we are facing under what this panel has framed as MAGA McCarthyism. It is not just advocates of Palestinian liberation who are facing discipline and punishment in their professional lives at the moment. It is not just those who invoke the scholarly and scientific consensus about gender as a social construct. And it is not just those who dare to point out Turning Point USA founder Charlie Kirk's views on gun control or increasing recent criticism of the Israeli state. It is, as Professor Alter's case shows, all of us.
That's a
By
good
whom
idea.
I mean all those who choose to
I'll get the
exercise
other
their
super
First
chats when
Amendment
this is
rights
over, guys. I
by
promise.
speaking out against fascism, authoritarianism, capitalism, and
Capitalism!
genocide, both in the United States and globally. In these brief remarks, I'd like to home in on the concept of MAGA McCarthyism and bring my own areas of expertise.
MAGA McCarthyism. I didn't even vote for Trump. Do not do that to me.
On
No.
understanding and speaking out against
Someone put in their chat, Karlyn didn't
Start
even
by
vote for
recalling
Trump,
a
you
statement
idiots.
made by then President of the American Association of University Professors, Irene Mulvey.
Trump isn't
on the
far
15th
right
of
enough
April,
for her.
2024. The statement was made with reference to the upcoming House Education and Workforce Committee hearing
MAGA
on
McCarthyism.
purported campus anti-Semitism on the 17th of April, the day the Columbia encampment started and the day
Hey,
of
thanks for the channel
Carnegie
memberships. Congrats
National
to
Day of
everyone who got a new
Action
channel
for
membership.
Higher
Appreciate it.
Education, the second annual event. That hearing featured the disgraced former president of Columbia, Nimad Shafiq, who became notorious quickly for calling in the NYPD against her own students and faculty. We are witnessing, said Mulvey, a new strain of McCarthyism in the US, where instead of going
Yeah,
after
he looks very
Hollywood, it is
Jewish, doesn't he?
professors and higher education that are under attack. Like the original McCarthyism, she continued, people's lives are being upended, their careers are being ruined, and they are losing their livelihoods.
Yeah,
based on
someone tell them I
narratives
voted for
being
Nick
pushed
Fuentes.
to further a political agenda that have no basis in reality. While I acknowledge that the Republican-led committee, comprised of characters like Virginia Fox, Elise Stefanik, Randy Fine, and Rick Allen, was and is deeply influenced by MAGA ideologies, it must be stressed that it was under a Democratic administration that this show trial took place. And I don't want to waste anybody's time, but I cannot resist quoting Rick Allen from that hearing. He directly asked Shafiq, quote, "Do you want Columbia University to be cursed by God of the Bible?" That was the nature of that particular show trial.
Oh, I remember that. That
Supposed
was
to
actually a
use,
crazy
as opposed
quote.
to
That was
God of
funny.
the Quran. Anyway, you understand my point. As you all know, and as my brief reminder of the 2024 congressional anti-Semitism witch hunt is meant to suggest, free speech related to Palestine not just slogans of liberation like from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, but also basic, uncontested facts about Palestinian history, politics, and culture, has been subject to repression and professional recrimination along McCarthyist lines for decades in this country. I need not remind you of the cases of Edouard Said, Joseph Mesad, Ilan Pappy, Norman Finkelstein, Juan Cole, Stephen Salaita, or the hundreds of others who have been smeared, maligned, harassed, fired, or dehired since around 1967 for speaking truth, the truth of
You
Palestine
didn't
and
miss
the
anything in the
Palestinian
James
people
interview.
to
It was
power.
boring as fuck.
For the most comprehensive history of these cases to date, I recommend Matthew Abraham's book, Out of Bounds, Academic Freedom and the Question of Palestine. This book was published in 2014, around the time Professor Salaita was dehired from a tenured position at the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign for tweeting about the Israeli state's murder of 2,000 Palestinians, including 500 children, in the summer of that year. Instead, I would like to pose a few questions whose consideration might be instructive for this evening's theme. What can we learn from the decades-long struggle of Palestinians and scholars of Palestine in the US against bipartisan McCarthyist repression, as the exact same mechanisms
Bipartisan. I'm not
deployed in
bipartisan
many instances
McCarthyism. I'm
by the
far right
exact same
McCarthy. Just to be
sources
clear,
are
this
now
is
being
far right
used against
McCarthyism.
the rest of us? How can we cultivate forms of solidarity among those of us who are equally committed to the cause of Palestinian liberation as we are to fighting domestic fascism, and to supporting and sustaining Indigenous, Black, Latinx, Chicanx, Muslim, immigrant, LGBTQ+, and other minoritized communities in the United States? What needs to change in our politics at a national level to make us see that these struggles are in fact one and the same? How can we effect this change? These are open questions, of course. My own gesture towards an answer, though, might be gleaned from my concluding comments. To close, I'd like to point towards the political education series that Bill just mentioned, mapping anti-Palestinian discrimination, harassment, and misinformation in US higher education. This is a current ongoing series that you can learn more about in a link I'll post in the chat when I'm able to, which is now. The primary objective of this series is to critically dismantle the weaponization of false accusations of anti-Semitism to smear advocates of Palestinian liberation, and to expose the sources of anti-Palestinian racism.
Unironically, I actually agree with a lot of things he's saying, which is a shame. I wish we could have those conversations, but we can't.
Uncovering the layers upon layers of collusion between far-right.
I don't want them doing anti-Semitism witch hunts. I want them doing communism witch hunts
in ways that are telling of contemporary McCarthyist political repression more broadly. This evening's panel featured a deep dive into the history of the ADL, its collusion with far-right special interest groups to criminalize free speech and academic freedom throughout public life, including and especially in universities and schools. Most importantly, by providing a platform for us to collectively stand up and speak out against political repression put in the service of genocide, the series has helped to cultivate an emergent community of courage and solidarity. It is by standing up and speaking out that we fight back. Our panel this evening exemplifies the courage to stand up and to speak out.
Exemplifies.
And the forms of solidarity necessary to maintain our shared struggle. It's an honor to be part of it. Thanks so much.
All right.
Thank you so much, Kareem.
Someone asked in the chat,
moving words.
How do you respond
so
to,
heartfelt.
well,
So much.
actually, what questions should we ask them? Let's brainstorm some good questions,
We're
guys.
going to
What
turn
question should
to
we ask?
Tom.
Oh, yes, turn to
Before
Tom.
I do that, I want to remind folks we will have time for discussion after these remarks are complete. We have this platform until 8:30 today, or 45 minutes from now. So we encourage you to drop questions into your chat, and they will be forwarded to the speakers. This is a time for dialogue and a time for solidarity.
Someone
and a time
asked-
for planning. So please avail yourself of that opportunity.
Why don't you
it's an
stand
honor to
by
have
your
Tom here,
words?
who's been
Your
relentless
how
in
do we wordsmith
fighting
this?
for himself
I don't even know.
and fighting for other people. Tom will be the first to tell you that he recognizes that if Texas State can do to him what it's trying to do, it can do this to any worker.
No, I want to ask
any
questions that trip
person,
them up.
Any vulnerable member of our society.
No one else
And
is
in fact,
asking questions.
what
We're
we
the only
learned
ones
from
in the
case
chat,
like
so
Tom's is how extremely vulnerable all of us are right now. So Tom is here, as he always is, to speak. He's made a long flight today to New Jersey.
Someone
where he's
asked
speaking
them, do you
tomorrow at Rutgers
believe
University.
that
He's editor of the chapter,
taxpayers should
which has
fund
invited him
far
to
left
come out
organizing
and
activities
talk.
on campus?
One of the things that our
I can't because
campaign
I'm banned on their
for Tom
channel.
has been doing is making
Do you
arrangements for him to
support
speak
taxpayer
at different
funding
venues around the country. If
leftist
you're interested,
organizing
do reach out
activities
to
on
the
college
committee
campus?
and we'll make it
That's a
possible for that
question.
to happen. But Tom, welcome, thank you, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you all for being here tonight and for your support, especially Haymarket and all the speakers on this panel. As I have said from the beginning of this campaign, this did not start with and it does not end with me. But why has this happened now? After all, many on this panel and watching tonight
Because of me.
have given
That's why.
socialist or left-leaning
Because of
political
me.
talks,
That's
or if
why it's
not given a
happening right now,
talk, have
Tom.
participated or listened to a left-wing political talk for years with little to no consequences.
Literally
We have
me.
occupied a small, though important section of a larger political culture in the United States. But again, why this repression now?
Me.
To understand why the attacks on academic freedom and democratic rights are occurring in this moment, we must place them in the context of U.S. capital's weakening position on the global stage and a worsening economic crisis at home. For U.S. economic elites, both are serious problems as they seek to maintain their profit margins amidst sharpening conflicts with rival capitalists. As a few of the speakers have mentioned, the attacks on free speech began in earnest during the past couple of years, targeting people advocating for Palestinian liberation and against the genocide being conducted by Israel. With China and Russia making inroads into the Middle East, the United States needs to shore up its junior partner of Israel and help it achieve its Zionist expansion
I released a
vision
clip
of
of
a
you
greater
because I
Israel
support
of
Israel,
taking
Tom.
not
Are
only
you fucking
Palestine,
stupid?
but
Can
Lebanon,
someone say in the
Syria,
chat, do you
Jordan,
guys know
and
the
most of
person that
Iraq.
posted the clip of Tom is a
Many people
rabid
oppose the
anti-Zionist?
genocide on basic humanitarian, human rights, and self-determination principles. There is also a significant part of the population that
Israel did
opposes
it, guys.
supporting
Israel
Israel
did it.
for
Not
economic
me.
reasons,
Israel.
questioning while billions of dollars are going to fund a genocide in Israel itself, while basic services are being cut in the United States within a deepening economic crisis.
Excellent
This
job,
is in addition
Huntip.
to a growing conservative isolationist sentiment questioning the expending of billions of taxpayer dollars when those resources could be used to benefit Americans. These isolationist voices have grown due to the economic crisis at home. So the crisis of U.S. empire abroad and economic crisis at home are intimately tied together. The voices for Palestinian liberation had to be suppressed. For a while,
I'm literally
Trump has been a useful
pro-Palestine.
tool for economic elites. He has been able to
Can
harness
someone
middle class and
seriously
working
post in their
class
chat? Are
fears
you aware the
over the
person who posted the
over
clip
the
of you is a
economy
rabid
and take this
anti-Zionist
populistic rage and channel it into a MAGA movement.
that
While
didn't
the
vote for
most
Trump
Democrats can
because
offer
he's
is that
too
they are not
Zionist?
Trump, with little to no solutions of their own.
These people just
And
make shit
establishment
up.
Democrats often
You got
exert
fired
more
because of
efforts
me,
attempting
Tom.
to
This is not
stamp
an
out
intellectual
any
exercise.
progressive and social democratic elements in their own party than they do actually fighting Trump. Trump was elected largely on making promises to lower prices and fix the economy. He has done neither. Not even a year into Trump 2.0,
The person who
it is
posted
clear
that
that
is
he
a
is not
rabid
able or
anti-Zionist who did
willing
not
to
vote for Trump.
improve the
Can
economy
other
for
people
working
say that in the
people.
chat, please? Hang on, I'll post the
Establishment
link.
Democrats did their best to stop the
Are
very
you aware
popular
the person who
ideas
posted the clip
aimed
is
at
a rabid
lessening wealth
anti-Zionist who
inequality
did
put
not vote for
forth
Trump?
by Zoran Mandani in New York City. It is an incredibly positive thing that he won the New York City mayoral race. Yet Mandani, despite quoting Eugene
Thank you.
Debs, whose basic principle was working class political independence, Mandani ran
I
and
feel
won as
personally
a Democrat.
offended at this
The
mischaracterization
Democratic
of my beliefs.
establishment hopes to
McCarlinism
maintain
is an
and co-opt
anti-Zionist
Mandani,
movement.
just as they
It is
have
both
Sanders
anti-communist
and
and
AOC,
anti-Zionist
among
at the same time.
others. The elections of Trump and Mandani show that people are looking for solutions. To find real solutions, we need free speech, free press, the right to assembly. Universities have traditionally been incubators of free speech, debate, innovation, and new ideas. This is due in part to university faculty and staff who have dedicated themselves to such pursuits in both liberal arts and the sciences. But even more so, this is due to the concentration of young people at universities trying to figure out the world they live in. And increasingly, they
The
see a
chat is
world
ours.
of environmental
Someone
destruction,
okay.
endless
Okay.
wars.
Here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do. When when they start to conclude, we're all gonna post in their chat at the same time. Whose chat? Our chat. But don't do it yet, okay? We're gonna keep our blocks because they're gonna block us all when we do this. But we have to do this. When I'm gonna tell you guys when to go, and when I tell you when to go, you go over to their chat and you post whose chat? Our chat. Okay? Don't do it yet. We're all gonna do it at the same time.
Anything that lessens these divisions,
I'm
such
gonna
as
post
taking
the link to the
classes on
top of
gender
the
studies,
screen.
queer theory, or African American studies,
Yeah,
is a threat to
stolen
their
chat,
power structure.
stolen streams.
There has been an ongoing culture war against diversity on college campuses. Though as the economic crisis deepens, attacks have greatly intensified
I'm not gonna
against
post the link. I'm gonna
any
wait.
thought that seeks to break down barriers or offer solutions. Called course audits, these course purges that we see going on in campuses in Texas are aimed at eliminating any teaching of gender, sexuality, and diversity.
Yes,
Faculty
ideally
who
so,
attempt to
Tom.
continue teach subjects are being targeted. This is the language of Texas Governor Greg Abbott, who on X openly proclaimed that he's targeting the teaching of so-called leftist ideologies. Texas A&M fired a professor for teaching gender ideology. I was fired for giving a talk on my own time, not associated with Texas State, for advocating socialism.
You were literally
Texas
teaching
State
socialism at
University
Texas State,
President
Tom.
Kelly
You said so.
Dampus, in his dismissal notice, claimed, relying on a video doctored by a fascist troll, that I, in my capacity as a Texas State faculty member, was advocating for overthrowing the U.S. government by recruiting
you
students into a revolutionary socialist party.
Yes.
And then I said, quote, our tasks are laid out in the Communist Manifesto.
Correct.
I did not give that talk or this talk in my capacity as a Texas State faculty member. And I did not call for overthrowing the U.S.
You
government.
did actually, Tom.
I did say our
You did.
tasks are laid out in the
Did.
Communist Manifesto.
Explicitly.
What are these tasks laid out in the
He's
Communist
doubling down.
Manifesto?
This
Well,
guy
for
is
Marx and
doubling
Engels
down.
writing
He does not
in
apologize for any of it.
1848, they called for working with the Chartists in England. This was a campaign for universal male voting rights. And they also called for working with the agrarianists in the United States. These were anti-slavery advocates who were also working for land reform. And in general, they are calling to people to join the struggles of the working class and connect them. The specific examples I gave in my conference talk that got me fired were to oppose the ICE raids, to join the picket lines in Houston of hotel workers on strike against Hilton,
So
and to defend
trying to overthrow
trans
the government.
people.
So it's trying to overthrow the government. Is what
Socialism
you're saying.
offers solution and ways to fight back. Others fighting back have been targeted in Texas. Students protesting against Charlie Kirk memorials. A Texas State staffer was fired.
All right, I want
for
everyone to go. Who's
opposing
chat
the
our chat now?
racism of
Who's
these Charlie
chat our
Kirk
chat right now?
memorials.
I want to
And the
get it as
repression
he's
is
finishing up,
expanding
and they're going to
beyond
ban us all
campuses.
anyway. But it doesn't
A
matter. They're not
government
going to take our
employee
questions.
who worked in the
Everyone, go to
Texas
their YouTube
Comptroller's
right now.
office
Who's
was fired
chat
for
our
promoting the
chat?
recent No
Who's
Kings
chat
rally in
our
Austin.
chat? Who's chat?
We can't
our
just let it
chat?
be repression
Who's
that
chat?
ties us
Our
together.
chat.
What truly
Just
ties
do
us
it once.
together
Don't
is
do
that
more
we're
than once. No
protesting and
spamming. But
resisting.
who's
The
chat
response
our
to my
chat?
firing was
Who's
immediate.
chat our
Students
chat?
protested for 5 days straight, and my unions immediately came to my defense.
Keep
This
going.
Texas
Keep
State
posting.
Employees
Who's
Union,
chat
which
our
represents
chat?
employees for the state of Texas,
We are
waged a
occupying the
grassroots
chat.
campaign,
We are
and the American
colonizing the
Association
chat.
of University Professors has provided a lawyer.
They
Instead of
disabled
picking
it.
me off as an
They disabled
individual,
the chat.
Texas State instead has ignited a movement for free speech. We also see this become a union movement as well. Membership in the Texas State chapter of the AAUP has doubled since my firing, and we're working on making similar numbers happen for the TSEU. And this is how we win, by being for something. We have a broad
They're
campaign
so free
for free
speech. They
speech
disabled the
and
chat when
democratic
we
rights,
colonized
and
it.
through love and solidarity, we will win. Thank you.
We are winning.
Thank you so much, Tom. Thank you for your courage. Thank you for your strength and your example, and for your remarks tonight. I'm going to take the privilege of chairing and ask a question.
He's just gonna
which I'm
completely
gonna
ignore
kinda
the
direct
chat.
to
There's
Iman and
nothing
Kareem,
in the chat but us.
both of
We're the
whom,
only ones
and
there.
Tom as well, spoke about the connection between the
That was
repression of
perfect.
Palestinian organizing that kind of preceded and anticipated
That was so
as a
good. Thank you
pretext,
guys for
I
that.
guess
That was
we
awesome.
now think, for the moment that we are in. And, you know, those of us in the academy are really well aware that every university in Gaza has been destroyed during the genocide. We call that scholasticide. How do you see the connection?
We colonized their
between
chat. We conquered their
this
chat.
U.S.-Israel
Conquered
Western
people, conquered land.
attack on the Palestinians, attack on higher education, and the moment that we're in here? Can you elaborate on that connection?
We got them
the
to silence
feelings,
us on a free speech talk.
the politics? I'd be very interested to hear your thoughts about that.
McCarlinism is on the rise.
Yeah, I think that what we're facing, worldwide is
conquered stream,
is
colonized
the threat
stream.
of a world where if you're on the wrong side of power, then you are subject to total destruction, and that any institution that stands in the way of
Conquered people, conquered
that
chat.
destruction will also be destroyed. And we're seeing that in Gaza. The Zionist narrative is that Palestinians didn't exist as a people and that they shouldn't exist as a people.
Fight for
right
free
now.
speech,
And
chat
the
disabled.
destruction of the specific targeting of Palestinian academic institutions, it has been consistent for decades. It's part of a concerted effort to destroy Palestinian life and to completely subjugate Palestinians. It's not a surprise to me that a tyrannical government here in the U.S. would have a similar vendetta against higher education, right? There's a through thread, as you're pointing out, Bill, here, that effectively any kind of tyrannical government, any sort of unchecked power is going to try to destroy the institutions of knowledge making.
We've covered
knowledge
her
exchange,
many times. She's
and the production
a socialist
of
that got
truth.
arrested in Chicago.
So I think that there is a clear link between the attack
just got
on
real loud.
academic institutions in Palestine and the attack on academic institutions here. And it's not just in terms of the fact that academic institutions have been a place of conversation about Palestine, but it's a similar logic. And I think this similarity in the logic that we see in Israel is in multiple institutions, not just academia, right? There's a reason that, as we always say, police in the US are trained often in Israel. We are seeing the use of Israeli surveillance technology against American citizens and against the American public by the police, but also by ICE, by DHS. So this sense that the state can kind of have unchecked power over our lives, that's something that has been
everyone leave their chat. Everyone leave their chat now. Stop watching. Just watch over here. Everyone leave now. Watch their numbers drop.
Against everyone.
Thank you, Iman.
If you're still watching them on another screen or you're trying to dick around, just leave.
I'd love to. Absolutely wonderful response, Iman. I completely agree with everything that you said, and I suppose I just want to expand.
There may
upon
not
it
have been
a
many of
little
us still
bit.
over there, honestly.
Your final comment reminded me of Noura Argat's recent essay in the Boston Review about the boomerang effect of U.S. foreign policy support for the Zionist enterprise and its genocide in Palestine.
It got up to like 140 when we were there, and then it dropped right back down. Oh, now there's 82, so there are many more people left.
Against civil disobedience and the crackdown on free speech. I think another dimension of it, perhaps, is the ways in which the U.S. educational enterprise, from the K through 12 level to higher education, has been deeply invested in supporting materially, ideologically, rhetorically and in terms of repression, the Zionist project for decades upon decades upon decades. I mentioned 67 as a key year in my brief
If any of the
remarks,
socialists that are
and I
spying
think
on
it's
us
really
want to
after
come over into my
1967,
chat, you're more
after
than
the
welcome
Six-Day
to. By
War,
the way, we love it when
and
socialists
Zionist
come and talk to us.
organization
So I know
in
some
the
of you guys
United
are
States,
watching
as well
right
as the
now
US political
and you're getting really
establishment,
pissed off, but you
were
actually are
generally
allowed to be in our
realizing
chat
that
and say
Israel
what
could
you
be
want, but
a
you
powerful
prevent our
ally
free
in US
speech from
imperial
your chat
interests in the Middle
because you
East. If
don't really believe the
feel
things that you're
that
saying.
this
You're just really
matrix of
pissed off that I
repression
played this game
really
better
came
than
home
you and I won and you
to
lost.
roost.
So if
It's
you are
around
one of the
that time
communists that are watching me right now,
that
the
people
chat is
speaking
open.
out about
Commies.
Palestine, people educating
We will
about
listen to you.
Palestine,
We will let you
public
talk. I will
figures
even
like
bring you on my
Israel's most
stream. You can
famous
say whatever you want. I don't care.
started to be targeted,
If you want me to send you a
attacked,
link to join
repressed,
me on the stream after
recriminated
this
against,
to
they're
tell
often
us what you want,
vandalized
I
and
will
so
do
on and
that. I
so
will let you
forth,
say whatever you want.
most explicitly.
We actually believe in free
Because what
speech
they
on
were
this
saying,
channel.
what they
You
were
guys
striving to
believe in
say
free speech
around
for
that
you,
period
but not for
conflicted
anyone
with
else.
a pre-existing Zionist narrative in education systems in the United States. In this period, we see groups like the Anti-Defamation League in 1974 specifically release reports like the New Anti-Semitism, which sought to equate criticism of the Israeli state with the hatred of
The
Jewish
fact that
people
the
as
chat
Jewish
just
people,
remains as it was before they disabled
which
it, though,
provided
that's like
the
the best part.
ideological basis
Because
for
it's
the
just a
kinds of
constant reminder
material
that we
and
owned
professional
their
attacks
chat and they
that
can't do
started to
anything
come
about
down
it.
the pipeline, as the Matthew Abraham book that I mentioned.
And that shows our power. And we're going to talk about
in
that after this is over. This has been a very clarifying stream for me.
extensively. All of this points towards a pre-existing structure of repression that in many instances, the exact same groups that have been targeting advocates of Palestinian liberation in education and in public
Frozen
life
chat.
are now deploying
Conquered chat.
against socialists.
Conquered people, conquered
against
chat.
people who
Conquered
teach,
commies, conquered chat.
about trans identity, who lean into theories and histories of Black liberation in this country, who evoke land back.
No Nazi stuff in the chat. No. We don't need to do that.
What I see as happening now is the deployment of the exact same playbook.
Yeah, from the stream to the screen, this chat will be free.
Historically used against advocates of Palestinian liberation against everybody else. There's a clear trajectory from one to the other, and that's something that I think it's important to pay attention to, so as to think creatively about ways to collectively resist, to build
from the stream to the screen. This live chat will be free, something like that.
That Palestine-related educators have been trying to use for years.
Yeah, now it's boring. Communists killed all the fun.
Fantastic. Thank you, Kareem. Thank you so much. I want to make a sort of a public service announcement for the people who are attending tonight. We've had a high number of disruptors in the chat.
Yes, you
We
have.
have temporarily closed that.
Whose chat?
So
Our
we're going to
chat.
continue the
Whose chat?
conversation
Our chat.
with some
Whose chat?
discussion
Our
amongst
chat.
ourselves for the moment.
Conquered
while we
commies,
perhaps
conquered
wait for
chat.
the opportunity for those folks to comment. I actually want to ask you all about that. I mean,
We'll
you
go
know,
right back over
Iman, you
too. If they
said
open that chat again, we're going
we
back
really
over.
don't have safe spaces in many ways now. We're here tonight because those spaces are going away, and yet they're here too, to try
You're
again,
public on the internet.
you know, any attempt to let us speak, to talk about
You are public on the internet,
criminalization of
sir.
free thought, the right to express one's point of view. It's a relentless campaign.
Yeah, we
of
single-handedly
violence
ended the
against us,
revolution
right?
tonight.
So, do you want to reflect on that and talk about that? Each of you has gone through, I know, we've heard Tom's story tonight, but each of you has gone through.
You
in your
guys set up a
personal
border
life, in
around your
family
chat.
life, some
You
experience of
literally
this.
believe in borders. You
I
have
wonder if you feel
privatized your
like
own
sharing
chat.
it
You
to kind of-
understand.
And Tom, you certainly have not told us everything that's happened to you since September 10th, but I know there's been a lot more. Because I really want to ground this for people who are listening tonight. What it actually feels like and is like to fight at the personal level for one's kind of political survival in a moment of danger. So, do any of you?
We are the
any of you
oppressed
care to
tonight.
take
They
that
are the
on?
oppressors and we are the oppressed.
I mean, what strikes me, Bill, is the intense the gaslighting and the sort of just intense, like, I'm struggling to even find the word. Irony seems like such an understatement, but
Decolonize your
as an
chat,
example,
communists.
We
We demand decolonization now of the chat.
I didn't even really post about Charlie Kirk. I retweeted a couple of things that literally just quoted him, and I think, yeah, and I got, these emails and one of them literally, said something about wanting to see me, hanging from my feet and so that my family could
I don't
watch the
condone
blood
violence, by the
drain
way.
from
No
my body.
violence, no threats of
And it was
violence.
so
That's not
interesting to
good.
me
Don't do that.
that this person is claiming that I am promoting violence, then sends me an email saying, that they would like to see me, and I haven't promoted violence. That's the kind of irony of it. And I think there's this. I think what we're seeing. I marvel at. I can't sign out of my work email. I have to read my work emails, right? And there's not like a filter that's going to take out all the insane amounts of racism and hatred. Much of it is so racialized and so gendered. And so I read these emails, out of necessity, and I have to look to see if there are credible threats, and there have been, and I've had to report them, and I've had to change my adjust
boo-hoo,
things in
Mom.
my
I've had
house,
threats
and
too.
have friends take me home, and I think what strikes me about these emails is the level of absolute rage at us for simply existing.
You're calling to overthrow the government.
And I think the sense that we are much more powerful than we are. I always joke that I wish the left was as powerful as the right seems to imply that we are. And so, I don't.
You're the
I
ones
don't know that I
colonizing
have
your own
anything
chat.
particularly coherent.
You put borders
to
around your chat.
say
You are
about
the
this, except
oppressors,
that
Mom.
It makes
We
me
believe
really
in free
sad
speech. You
because
guys
I just
believe in borders and
I believe in
colonization
a
and
world in
censorship.
which most people are fundamentally good and are sort of misled by their circumstances. And when I think about all these people sitting there in their homes writing me these emails, it's sad to me that
your
they
chat,
have
our choice
misdirected their
forever.
rage.
Exactly.
And this
Your
speaks to
chat,
what
our
Tom was
choice.
talking about, right? It's not so much that I think these are just like evil human beings. I mean, some of them probably just like should see a therapist ASAP.
You're the
but
one who's got a
it's-
felony
it's
charge,
that
Mom.
I
You
think
should be
they're
worrying about
enraged
your
at
own
the
life.
horror of the world that we live in, that the world feels unfair and bad, and instead of directing that rage and that energy at
this is actually part of the
all
goal.
of the
We
people
need
that
to
are
make them
actually
paranoid
making it unfair and bad.
forever.
The billionaires that are stealing money
I'm going to
from
tell you guys a
us,
story
right?
about
That
that
are
when we
making our
end on
lives
this.
unaffordable and miserable, that they'd rather direct it at, some lady in Chicago who has a job and really is not all that powerful, that lady being me.
A mom has written a book
And
about
so,
the future
honestly,
socialist
let
utopia.
me just
She is one
address
of the
the trolls that are
architects of the
watching us
future
right
socialist
now, or the
utopia. She's
people who
not
are
an innocent
watching us.
little
I
fucking
apologize for
snowflake.
calling you trolls, but consider for a moment what it is that actually makes your life hard, right? Consider for
My
a moment.
life is fucking great, Mom.
Why it is that
My life is awesome.
life feels so bad. The reality is, I have no influence on your life. I really just don't.
You are the
Your
architect of the
elected
future's
officials
communist
do,
utopia.
Your boss does. The people who control our economy, right? They
Talk
have
about
an impact on
gaslighting.
your life.
I have this
I
lady
don't.
on video multiple
So
times
I'm
talking
not
about
your
overthrowing
enemy.
the
I am
government.
not the person to actually direct your rage at. And if you are lonely and sad and need community, you
I'm
can
actually
find it
married.
with other people to fight the fights that would make your life actually
This
better.
is the fight that will
And
make
they're
my
not in
life
the chat
better.
box.
This is the fight that makes our life better, Mom. And you're not going to gaslight us. We know who you are. We've been watching you for years and years and years, and we're not going to stop until you're in jail. You are going to jail, Mom.
Tom,
You
but just
committed
one
a
second there,
felony. You are
everything,
going to
Iman
jail.
said, and just to add to it in a small way, once he starts thinking about the questions that Iman was very generously inviting you to think about, you'll find that a lot of our struggles.
I'm there, Nick Fuentes. It is
similar.
actually like unironically true.
As you analyze the actual ways in which this economy in this country and this world works and the political system in the United States work, you'll realize that we're all fucked by the system. Similarly,
They're talking to
and it's
us,
by
guys.
working
They're talking to
together
us right
that
now.
we
This is
might
a presentation
find a
now
way
for
to
us.
push back against it. And I think this feeds back into Tom's comments in his talk about the ways in which our political and economic systems have fabricated categories of racial and social distinction, gender-based distinction, sexuality-based distinction, precisely in order to divide us from one another. Just on a personal note, I'll say that my family has been fighting terrorists and psychopaths for 100 years, since the 1936
Yeah, I'm
revolution
totes a
in
terrorist and
Palestine,
a
the
psychopath. You guys
1948
got me.
war, the 1967 war, the 1975 to 1990 Lebanese civil war. This is the heritage that I come from. It's one of literal armed struggle, the juvenile antics. And, you know, I understand that a lot of folks who are watching might have power or might feel they have.
You guys are the
power
ones that
over
are
our
oppressing the
lives and our
chat.
jobs and so forth. And they might well be able to.
You
ignore
are
that,
the
because they
oppressors.
have
You are the
been,
ones with the power in this
in the kinds of
situation.
instances we've heard about this evening. Go ahead. My family's struggle is one of survival. What is it? 68,000 people have been killed. 20,000 children have been murdered.
I'm not
last 2
in favor of
years,
Israel, you
let alone the
morons.
tens of thousands over the last 78 years. That's where my
I
affiliation
am not
lies. That's what I'm
pro-Israel.
working for, and I frankly don't give a fuck
That
if
I'm
you wanna
working for?
troll and harass and
Oh,
discriminate
bro.
us and
See,
get
these
us,
people have no
fired.
fucking clue what they're talking about. They're like, you
Our
support Israel. I'm
work
like, the
is more
fuck I
important
do.
than your nonsense.
Thank you, Kareem. Thank you so much.
Not interested in accuracy at all.
Tom,
They
I'm
just
I'm
lie.
gonna slightly tweak a question to you, but it follows on what I just said or asked. Why did you choose a public campaign to fight, Tom? So many people who are going through what you're going through.
They think I'm a MAGA conservative Zionist.
Try
They
to
do, yeah.
negotiate a settlement and keep it
Mhm.
quiet. They don't want their name in the paper. But you've chosen to fight this out publicly. You've chosen to try to build a broad coalition of supporters. You've welcomed attention to the case. You've let the sunshine in on it. Why is that so important to you? Why that strategy of fighting back?
Good question. It's just what has to be done. You know, we can't let them win. I mean, it's like Kareen was saying, he's got his family, years of resistance. We sit on the shoulder, we stand on the shoulders of so many that have fought before us, fought to get the position that we're in now. Going back to the poor farmers or the American Revolution, the slaves that rebelled to end slavery in the United States, the labor movement, the women's rights movement, the civil rights movement, anti-war movements. I mean, it's our time now. I mean, I didn't ask for this. None of us have asked for this, but it's our time now. And to me, there was nothing else to do but fight. I mean, it's because our very existence now hangs in the balance in so many ways. We see the destruction of the environment. The life expectancy is now lowering in the United States. Right now, we have the means to have a society where everyone is housed and fed and has
Raising
health
for
care.
communism again.
But instead, all of our labor is going
doubling
towards
down
these
on
billionaires.
communism.
And so, yeah, there's a reason for these fascist trolls to be angry. Life is not
I'm not
good.
angry, Tom.
It could be
I'm
a lot
fucking
better.
great.
Except, why are you angry at us? I mean, why are
Because
you
you want to
angry at people
overthrow the
advocating for
government.
healthcare
You are the ones
and a
that want to
living
create a
wage,
society where we're going to starve.
equality,
My
for
life is
peace?
fucking awesome
This
now.
is what we're for.
I don't want
This is what we're
communism.
fighting for.
I don't want you
I mean, it's
people
something
taking my tax dollars to teach
whether you have
people
children
communism.
or not. I mean, it's just about fighting for
This
basic dignity.
is us versus
And I
you.
mean,
We
there's,
have
to me, there's no other
fundamentally
way to
different
live
values.
life. I mean, and also, I mean, it
I
hasn't
would
been an
say I'm doing a
individual
lot better
fight
than
for
you
me.
at the moment
And
because
it
you don't have
never
a job.
has. I mean, I've had my union, I've had my fellow comrades in Socialist Horizon and other broader comrades and other socialist organizations I've worked with. Students
You want
that
to
have
take our
rose
food.
up
You
in
want to take our
protest. I
houses.
mean,
You want to take
this
parental
is a
rights.
struggle for all of us right now.
We
And
disagree with your
I don't know.
worldview.
I just don't know. I just can't imagine doing anything else. It's just the time that's been thrust upon us, and it's we shouldn't be doing this alone. We're not doing it alone, and that's what I think has drawn people to this campaign. Again, it's not about me. As a lot of people said, yes, I've happened to become a face of it, but this fight is not about me. It's about this broader fight that's going on, and people are looking to fight back, to stand up and do something.
Game
And so
on.
that's why, I mean, this campaign would go on without me.
Game
It's
on,
spark.
Tom
I might
Alter.
have been the spark to
Game
rise
on,
up,
communists.
and inspired by the students that started
Game
protesting at Texas
on.
State.
We are
They said
winning.
this is
You
something.
are
This is the
losing.
fight of our lives now, and there's joy in resistance. That's why I try to find like positive in this. There's joy in resistance. That's why I keep on saying that, like love and solidarity. We're for something.
Yeah, we are
We're
too.
for something.
We are too.
And that's what we're fighting for: a better life, a better future. It's all within our means to achieve it. And it's just gotten to a point of enough. And so that's why we're fighting back.
Thank you, Tom. Yeah, we are for something. We are for life, right?
You are in a cult.
Something the Palestinians have taught us.
You are in a cult.
I want to give you a chance to talk to each other if you'd like. Do you have questions or comments or things that you'd like to, or reactions you've
Jody
had?
found
maybe
out I was
toward
streaming and
other
she ran away
speakers,
real
say?
quick, didn't she?
You can just make this a kind of a brown bag here, because I'd like to give you that opportunity. So would anyone like to take that?
Please feel free to redirect if this gets into international relations in a way that might not be fruitful for our theme of Speak Out. But I was very intrigued with by Tom's comments about Israel as an outpost for the United States at a moment of declining imperial influence of this country, and the Russian and Chinese inroads into the Middle East more generally. There have been lots of deals, lots of agreements, and so forth about that. But I wonder if we can expand more about the relationship between funding a foreign imperial enterprise. Is this a matter of cementing the United States' role on a global stage? And how on earth can funding this ongoing colonial nightmare be a coherent strategy for
Jody's having an off-camera meltdown. Yeah,
foreign policy.
Jody's probably listening to us right now, trying to make a list of everyone who's here.
The dictates of international law and agreements like UN Resolution 242, which the United States is, of course, a signatory of. Surely that would improve.
I've got a lot of thoughts after this is over, guys. I have so many thoughts I want to share. I'll do the super chat.
Coherence of the policy, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Good question. I mean, there is just so much that doesn't make sense. I mean, yeah, we don't want to be, a lot of these capitalists aren't even like good capitalists. I mean, you think on just things that would make sense.
I'm a fucking great capitalist. What are you
But it really
talking
just
about?
shows the greed that drives so many of them. I mean, yes, the Middle East has resources that the United States wants and needs, but the United States has resources as well. And so you think on like a global scale, just like, hey, let's be nice and let's trade, instead of like, no, we want it all, which is what we've seen. I mean, it just, that's what kind of still, when we try to get into things like on a personal level and get inside people's heads, which is hard to do. It's just like, how much do you need? I mean, how much do you need? I mean, your wants, I mean, how much do you want that you just need to have so much? Like, and we have the ability to take care of everybody. So that is a good question. I mean, there would be so many ways just to kind of live in a much more peaceful existence where we exchange and benefit from each other. But instead, it's just desire, want, and greed is what seems to fuel everything, especially when it comes to the Middle East.
Yeah. Well, perhaps a sign of fascism is when power and greed supersedes capitalism per se.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I want to just add that I think part of the entanglement with Israel is also about U.S. ruling class interests. So, the amount of money that the U.S. taxpayer funnels into U.S. Weapons manufacturers through Israel, right, is significant. The amount of the sort of entanglement between companies like Google and Microsoft and Apple with Israeli manufacturers, the Israeli economy. So I think there's a way that the ruling class has found, that this entanglement is deeply profitable. And so that's also extended. I think Israel started as a colonial outpost and continues to be, like, for the U.S. And certainly it's a settler colony.
They're like so
But I
obsessed with
think
the fact that
there
they
have
think
been
that, like,
even
we're
more
all
sort of
fucking pro-Israel. It's
interconnections
just
in
like
terms
it's
of
the most
ruling class
bizarre part of
interests
this whole
than
argument.
the kind of foreign policy dictates of having a sort of foothold in the Middle East. Because the reality is, when Israel was first created or declared on Palestinian land, the U.S. Didn't have that many relationships in the region, and in fact, many of what we think of as the states in the region now didn't really quite exist, right? So there were, general independence struggles and such. But now we're at a moment where, many of the states in the region are client states of the U.S. So Egypt, Jordan, you have states like Saudi and the UAE that have deep investment in U.S. allyship. You have U.S. military bases all over the Middle East, and so it is not even the case anymore that that the U.S. needs Israel in that way of having like a foothold in the region. But I think that the sort of entanglements by industry keep us from severing this really costly tie.
Absolutely.
It's basically keeping the military-industrial complex going.
Mhm.
What is? I mean, you went through the Cold War, kept it going there, and then the new conflicts, got it in Iraq and Afghanistan. That came to an end. Now they just need war. I mean, it's not just a saying that we put forth. I mean, but it really does. They really need war in order to keep their system going.
I think that the state's confidence, hopefully, is that if you smash one anti-war, anti-genocide movement, you'll smash the next one. So we're going to need one for Venezuela, it seems, which appears to be next on the Trump radar.
Yeah, that's a
right?
fucking stupid thing Trump's
And
doing.
Not to mention the ongoing quiet wars, troopless wars, police wars the U.S. is fighting constantly. There's really no end to our work. But I also think that everything you all talked about tonight underscores the necessity of our consistent resistance and our solidarity. We have no choice. This is really a state that is happy to kill us. And I think most of us have come to understand that. Even those white people whose life expectancies are declining, right? In places like southern Indiana, near where I live. This has been a bracing conversation, powerful and
Very powerful, very stunning, very
urgent.
brave.
And I think if I could ask one last quick question, it would be, can you offer one piece of thought about organizing in our moment that we need to hold on to? Something from your own experience, something that you've seen others doing, something that will take us out on a note of imagination and possibility. And we're at 6 minutes left, so I'm going to ask you to be brief, but that's my final question. Any of you want to start with that?
Yeah, I live in Chicago, and we have been just going through horrible state terrorism. I mean, just the other day, ICE literally drove off with someone's 1-year-old after arresting her father, who is a U.S. citizen. On the same day, I think they raided a daycare and arrested a teacher with a work permit who in front of her, in front of the children in the daycare and parents. And these are just a couple of dozens of stories. People have been abducted from my block. But on the one hand, we're living with this intense state terror of like tear gas being thrown at protesters in the middle of the street. And on the other hand, it has been incredible to watch the networks of solidarity and support that have popped up. I mean, there are schools in Chicago with 600 children where every single child was walked out of school by a volunteer. There are, I think, 40 some rapid response, chats across the city. People are delivering groceries, buying out street vendors so that they don't have to be on the street, and so every time that the harder that the state hits us, I think we get to see these glimpses of a different future where we get to show up for each other and take care of each other. And we get to see just how much capacity we have for that. And it's really enormous and so heartening. And that's the world that we're fighting for.
Thank you, Iman. And do read everyone's books here, but read Everything for Everyone. My question actually is beautifully answered in that sort of speculative fiction about how we could win now and in the future.
See, it's a book about the future socialist utopia. She's like, I don't know why people are so upset.
I'll leave the
That's
final
why.
word to Tom, if that's okay, and give my own brief response to that. I mean, at these moments of collective crisis, they bring us face to face with our existential entanglement with one another. Certainly opportunities to build these new networks of support and solidarity, as a man so beautifully put it. But that's where communities are formed, as well as mobilization and resistance nurtured and cultivated. We enact, we live these moments, these aspirational futures that we're all working towards at these moments of crisis. So leaning into that and experiencing the joy of resistance and this joy of forming new networks with people you might never have spoken to before, like the person down the block or the family down the block whose son was abducted in the middle of the night, and building these networks and relationships and communities outward. It's truly a beautiful, sustaining, buoying thing for all of us.
Joy of resistance. It sounds like we've got a new.
The joy
mantra
of
for our new day. That's beautiful.
resistance.
Thank
Very
you,
stunning,
Karlyn.
very
Thank
brave.
you so much. Tom, you can close us out.
Yeah, just to build on this, the importance of what Iman and Karlyn were saying, and building these new networks, resisting together. It's unfortunate that Katarina wasn't able the internet connections weren't working, because building these new networks, building new ways to resist, building community is very important. But we have our basic defense structures of the working class, and that is the labor movement. We can critique unions and labor movements and how they've been there and been not, but unions have been the basic defense organization of the working class.
There
In
it
Texas,
is.
that's been kind of an abstract thing, because especially as public employees, we don't have collective bargaining rights or the ability to go on strike.
Yeah, you're
But
taxpayer
here, I know,
funded.
just through my case, people have seen how unions can fight back. We didn't have many of those like communities or networks, and using the union and even like transforming the union now. The union seeing that, okay, it's bread and butter issues are extremely important, but also defending free speech is important as well. And so that's how people have been fighting back, and using unions and transforming them into fighting instruments of the working class once again, as we're building new networks and expanding them and using unions as well to build these bridges. I think that's very important. So that's one of the very real positive things that's come out of the tragicness of my case, is like that how union membership has doubled on my campus. that people say, whoa, we need to come together
Well, that's
and fight
concerning.
collectively together.
That's
And so
concerning.
that's why I always
They're
encourage the people that
weaponizing
join
the
the
unions
union
to push
and form
communism on
also, if you
college
don't have a
campuses in
union, form
Texas.
these new
That's
modes of
concerning.
resistance. They form these new communities. Because that's what I think also a lot of these fascists are missing as well. They're missing a sense of community. And that's what we need. That's unions and
not
these
correct
forms of
at all, Tom,
resistance
but nice
can
try
give us
there.
that sense of community that we are missing in so
Guys,
much
we
of
have no
our
sense of
daily
community.
lives.
You hear him? We are not a community,
Well
even
said,
except that we
Tom.
have more people watching than they do by a
reminded me of
factor
what
of
David
4.
said about an injury to one is an injury to all, and we can live that in so many different ways, and it's an impetus, right, to build solidarity. I want to thank all of the speakers. I want to thank David McNally, who can't hear us right now, but and also Jody, who had to sign off because she had to go to sleep because it's 1:30 in the morning in London, and Katerina, who wasn't able to reconnect. Amazing.
What's your next
organizers, all
step?
three, and Iman and Kareem and Tom, thank you all so much for your vitality and your thoughts and your organizing and your courage, and thank you for attending tonight and staying with us against the the attack of the trolls.
The
We won
colonization
again. We're
of the
still
chat.
here. We'll
Well,
be here
no, we
tomorrow.
actually won
We'll
because
be
you
here.
guys
We'll be here
put borders
forever.
around your chat to keep us out. Actually, we
DefendTomAlter.com
won.
is a great website if you want to contribute to Tom's campaign. SocialistHorizon.com.
You guys had to
tells you
betray
more about
all the
Tom's
values
political
you claim to
organization
care
and my
about just
political
to keep us from
organization.
colonizing your
Read
chat.
Kareem and Iman and Tom's writings and wisdom, and take care of yourselves and fight. We absolutely
I have so many thoughts.
have no
Stick
choice
around.
but to wake up tomorrow and do this again for each other, because they're going to be here again for us tomorrow. So to me, it's been just motivating, inspiring to spend an hour and a half tonight with people who are in this fight and have so much love for the fight and for each other. Thank you to Haymarket Books for sponsoring tonight, and wish you all well, and see you in the next go round. Solidarity.
Thank you so much.
Solidarity,
Take care,
comrades.
everyone.
Hang on. All right, it's over. We won. They lost. All right. I want to do some super chats real quick because some people sent in super chats while we were streaming, and then I have thoughts. So just stick around for a second, guys. If you appreciate the fact that we just sat through a stream where all the communists did was whine about me, make sure you mount that like button. Effectual Insurrection over on Rumble. We have her ass well done, Dr. K. No commie should feel safe in America. That is exactly right. Let me get the super chats over here. Yeah, enjoy your 30 pieces of silver, Adam King. Put him a Karlynism shirt on. I'll buy one. Yeah, I'm going to think about him a Karlynism shirt for sure. Under Karlyn's leadership, we are a modern day McCarthy group. We are many, and we are coming, and they will never know where we'll be. Yeah, Nick, this is exactly. This is exactly the spirit we should be having right now. Exactly. We won. They lost. Long live General McCarlyn. Yup. Thank you. Karlynism shirt idea. We are Legion. Yup. I agree with that. Biotechnic. Thank you for the 10 gifted channel memberships. Frog Monkey. Thank you for the super sticker. New merch idea. Karlynization. Well, we'll have to think about that. We'll have to wordsmith that. And then I have this here from Chris, and this is gonna kind of start. I'm gonna give you my remarks and my debrief now, and I can turn the chat on the screen now so you guys can see what's actually being said. Sorry I couldn't have the chat on the screen before, but the reason was because like it was interfering with the other chat, and I chose the other chat because we colonized it. So Chris says, I hope these motherfuckers are forever paranoid that we are listening to everything they do. You know, I didn't really talk about this because the recording messed up. But probably about a month, maybe even 2 months ago, about 2 months ago, I was doing an accidental spy stream in that there was a presentation that I signed up for that I forgot I signed up for. And I got an email like literally 5 minutes after it went live. And this was like a private Zoom call. And so I was like, oh shit. And I thought about spy streaming and I was like, no, let's just sit here. I didn't even know if it was going to be that interesting. You know what? It was right after Tom Alter got fired. It was right after Tom Alter got fired the first time. Okay. So that was very top of mind. Like the Tom Alter story had just made national news. And I was at this accidental spy stream where I was listening in on a Zoom call, but I wasn't actually recording it or streaming it. Well, I tried to record it. It was on my brand new computer. The recording didn't work at the time. But the reason I'm telling you this story, and I would kill for a recording of this presentation, but during the Q&A, with no prompting at all. One of the presenters, and it's a person we've watched before on this channel, one of the presenters said, please make your questions only relevant to the content because now we know there are people recording us and we want to make sure we're only relevant to the content. And I was secretly watching a presentation and I tried to record it and it just didn't work. But I was secretly watching a presentation where in the Q&A, they warned them that you might be being recorded. They were talking about me and they were talking about us. Tom Alter was asked a question in that presentation, and the question was, why is this happening now? Why are people being recorded now? Why are communists being held accountable for their words now? And Tom Alter went into some big explanation about Israel that is completely fucking incorrect. Do you want to know why this is happening right now? Me. You guys. This community. Specifically. It is specifically us that is making this happen right now. I want everyone to think about how much power we actually have. And you know, this is probably one of the best white pills that I've had in a while. Hang on, I'm going to cough. Hang on. Still sick. Excuse me. Even though I'm still sick. I want everyone to really think about how much power we have right now. We are the reason. These people have organized a massive communist effort because of me and the recording that I put out, and because of us and everyone, the work that everyone does to amplify it. They are afraid of us, guys. They are afraid of us. And again, it's like, it's one of those things where I'm not saying us as in a general kind of anti-communist sphere. I'm saying they are afraid of literally us. Literally what this community has done. They did an entire presentation tonight complaining about us. I did not expect to get that many mentions in that presentation, if I'm being very honest about it. Thank you, Egg. You woke me up. Thank you forever. Thank you, Egg. I do appreciate it. You rock. You rock. Yeah. How will Andy No take credit for this? How will Andy No possibly take credit for this? Do you guys notice communists are not afraid of Andy No? Do communists literally ever mention Andy No in any of their presentations? No, but they mention me many times in a single presentation tonight. And that is because they are afraid. And I may have underestimated this. I'm going to be honest. I've been very kind of like not even really paying attention to this whole Tom Alter thing, but because I released this recording and then Charlie Kirk died, and then I literally went right into another undercover thing. I went to the New York Anarchist Book Fair. And so like around the time I released this recording, I honestly wasn't even really paying attention because I was so busy doing other things that I was just like, oh, okay, like whatever's going to happen. I was kind of like, I just put out the recording and they're going to do whatever they're going to do. I tried whatever. I think I may have underestimated how important this is. That's my fault. I should have been paying closer attention, but it's been a busy couple months, okay? Because there is really a much larger effort than I was aware of surrounding this whole situation from the communists that we've been watching for a while. They weren't very smug tonight. I kind of actually think that they were afraid tonight. I really do. No. Hang on. Who the fuck are you? Hang on. Who the fuck are you? Let me see what is your channel history? Let's just take a look here at your channel history. All you're doing is bitching and complaining, and you're not even in the United States. And so I don't give actually a flying fuck what you think. Your job here is not to tell me what to do. I'm putting you in a timeout. You ever do that again, you're going to get permanently banned. You're not even fucking American. Shut the fuck up. Listen, I don't mind if non-American people are here, but non-American people are not going to tell me what to do, and they're not going to tell me how to run my community. I'll tell you that right now. You want to be here to learn, I welcome you, and I love your participation, but I care about America. I do not care about appeasing the fragile sensibilities of someone in the UK. Sorry. Anyway. They really are positioning me as like a modern day McCarthy. And I fucking love it. And I feel like that is exactly the attitude that we need to have moving forward. We are the modern day McCarthy. The Republicans don't want to do shit? Fine. Guess what? We don't need them. This is literally our community versus them. This is us versus them. They want to talk about the fact that we're lonely and we're unhappy. I've honestly never been happier with my work as I have been over the past since June, really. I've been doing awesome fucking work since June. There's still a lot we need to do, and like the Center for Left-Wing Studies has got to be the focal point of all of this. But like, I am ridiculously happy with the way everything's going. We're having a great time. We have more people in the community than ever. I think we're having more fun than ever. And you know what? When the communists are afraid of us because all we need to do literally is listen to them on the internet and then clip them and put out the content. And they can say I'm clipping them out of context all they want, but that's just not true. I put out the full video of every single thing Tom Alter said. Tom Alter just didn't like what he said. He didn't like that other people saw it outside of his little fucking commune. All we have to do is listen to these people and put out what they're doing. And are we going to have to listen to a lot of boring shit? Yes, we are. But when we land on the golden nuggets and we know this is true over and over and over again, we land on fucking gold. We land on things that get people fired. We land on things that expose the true intention of what these people are doing. And this has been true for years. And I have to say, man, we were a small but mighty community for a long time. And this Tom Alter thing happened when there were a lot less people in the community than there are now. And I really want people to understand that. I've always tried to impress upon people, this has never been about numbers for me. I do not care about having the biggest community of people in the world. What I care about is a high quality community with a dedicated group of people who actually takes shit seriously. There are people in this community that go undercover at far left events on their own without me even telling them to do it. They DM me all excited. They're like, Karlyn, I just went undercover at this thing, or Karlyn, I'm doing this weekend, or what do I need to know? Like, you guys would be shocked at how many messages I've been getting lately from people who are literally just watching what I'm doing, saying, I can do that too. And I'm saying, yeah, you actually can do that. Now you need to learn their language and you need to be cautious about it. I don't want a newcomer coming in and just going right undercover. I want you to learn their language first. I want you to learn their culture and how they think. But for people who've been watching my content for 6 months to a year, and you've watched the classes and you've learned stuff and you know all the basics, you can do this. You can go undercover at their events. You can join the Democratic Socialists near you and pretend to be a fucking communist and get all their information. You can join the revolutionary communist group near you and pretend to be a communist and sit there and record what they're doing in all their meetings. I literally have people in my community who do this. We are a small but mighty community. And our community is making such waves right now on the communist left that they're not talking about Andy Ngo. They're not talking about James Lindsay. They barely even talked about Charlie Kirk in that presentation. They're not talking about Fox News. They're not talking about the Daily Wire. They're not talking about The Blaze. They're not talking about Steven Crowder. They're not talking about any of the popular right-wing influencers. They're talking about me, and they're talking about us. We are their boogeyman. We have power over them. We have the momentum on our side. And do you know why? Because we took the time to learn about them. The only reason that I can do what I do and track groups the way I track them is because I took the time to learn about them. The only reason we know where to look for these things is we took the time to learn about them. None of these other influencers, up to and including Andy fucking Ngo, has taken the time to actually learn who these people are, what their organizations are, how they organize, where they're organized, what they're called, when they hold their meetings, how they hold their meetings, how do we get inside their meetings, what types of things are they reading, what types of things are they selling, what types of events are they going to, what types of events are they organizing. We are the only people on the internet who are actually dedicated to learning this shit. And I'm really trying to emphasize we, because I do not want this to be about me. This is a community effort, not in a communist way. No one has to be here if they don't want to, but like, everyone has to be participating in this. Because guys, I think we may have actually reached the point where I don't actually know if I can go undercover anymore. I don't. I was supposed to go to an event this past weekend. I was supposed to go to the Boston Anarchist Book Fair, and I just got this really queasy feeling about it, and I wasn't really feeling that well anyway. And so I was just like, I don't know if I can do it. Like, I was like, they're going to be looking for me. They know I'm from this area. Like, I really don't want to get into a situation. Like, I'm really not feeling well. And I just had a really eerie feeling about it. And I try to trust my intuition when I have an eerie feeling about something. I don't know if I can go undercover at stuff anymore. And because I don't know if I can go undercover at stuff anymore, I need you guys to do it. And I need you guys to report back. And I will train you on how to do it. I will train you on how to find their events. I will train you on how to go to their events. There are multiple people in this community that have been undercover. And this is one of the things that I've been working on a bunch of stuff for the Center of Left Wing Studies. And I know I owe people communication about that. I know. I've been sick and all this. You guys know. I don't need to tell you. But like, that's got to be part of it. We've got to build an information network because they're afraid of us. And the momentum is on our side. And this is the big thing that I don't think I realized until I watched them cry about me tonight. I didn't realize how much power we have over them until just now, because even sometimes for me, I'm like, we're this small little cultish underground community. And if you know about us, you know about us. And if you don't, you don't. But like, I really underestimated the impact that this whole thing had on them because I was so busy doing other things. I just wasn't paying attention. And now I know the impact this had on them. And now I know the amount of organizing that they have done purely to fight us. Really think about that. They organized over 4,000 emails to the president of Texas State University in support of that guy. They did that because of us. That's crazy. Do you know the amount of effort it takes to get 4,000 emails for something? Biotechnic to Darla, Shannon, so sorry. Lost friends, can't imagine children, and Karlyn and the group works. I don't exactly know what that means, but I appreciate the super chat. Thank you. So I want everyone to walk out of this feeling incredibly proud, and I want everyone to walk out of this feeling good. And I want everyone to know that we just keep doing exactly what we are doing. That's it. We need to make sure we're going to their events. We need to make sure we're finding out about their events. We need to make sure that we're watching their social media. We need to make sure we're looking at what they post on Instagram and Telegram and Blue Sky. We're going to have to go on fucking Blue Sky. I know. I don't really want to either, but we're going to have to. We're going to have to pay attention to all the fucking emails they send out, and they send out a lot of fucking emails, and I know because I'm on a lot of their mailing lists. Oh, Darla sent an email. Sorry, I didn't see it. Sorry, Darla, I didn't see it. I lost both my grown children to that cult after they left home. It's now my life's work to take them down. Well, you are welcome here, Darla, and I really do appreciate that. So that was in response to that. I apologize that I didn't see that chat before, Darla. It didn't register. And no matter what anyone says about me, guys, like, listen, so far as I'm concerned, listen, I still do want to do protest coverage. I love the live protest coverage. It's entertaining. But like, you know, maybe I've been a little distracted with the bullshit from Portland. They've been trying to destroy my work and my business. That's also very true. But the bullshit with the Portland streamers, I don't give a flying fuck what they think about me. The Portland streamers want to spread all these lies that I'm secret Antifa. The Portland streamers want to try to destroy my nonprofit. The Portland streamers want to lie about me and defame me. Communists aren't doing streams about the fucking Portland streamers. That's more of an annoyance to them. They organized an entire fucking several thousand person effort in response to us. So our focus has got to be clear. We move forward with exactly the same thing that I've been doing. I'm feeling just very fucking smug right now because it's like my techniques fucking work. My approach works. This was evidence that everything that I've been doing for years actually has the desired end result. And to be honest, I'm not always sure of that. I try to do the best I can, and I try to kind of think things through and think, you know, how would this work, and how, like, what is the very best way I can contribute, and what is the very best way that I can, you know, spend my time. And I've always thought that, like, recording these people at their meetings and documenting all of it and putting it out there and making sure people understood, I always thought that that was the best way to do it. But now I have evidence that I have absolute vindication. Yeah, it's vindication. I have absolute vindication that my techniques work, my strategies work, and that I am so far ahead of everyone fucking else because they're not complaining about any other conservative influencer. They're not complaining about people that are far more famous than me. They're complaining about me because other people, even if they're far more famous, they aren't. The other people are not getting under their skin in the way that I'm getting under their skin because of my approach to it. And it's the approach that's causing them the problems. So everyone should be incredibly proud if you've contributed to this effort at all. You all should be incredibly proud of the result that we've gotten. I'm incredibly proud of this. I think this is fucking awesome. And just never forget, guys, like no matter what people say about me on the internet, I know sometimes you guys want to defend me, and I know sometimes you guys are like horrified at the things that are said about me. Just remember, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I have had every single thing said about me. I've been called every single insult. I have had every single possible defamatory lie that they can say about me said, and I've weathered it all. And none of it changes what I'm doing, and none of it changes my mission. And it doesn't matter how many people say I'm secret Antifa. That's an IQ test. It's a filtering mechanism. If you are stupid enough to believe that I am secretly Antifa, then you are not smart enough to be in this community. And I am deadly serious about gatekeeping this community and making it about the goal and the mission, and only having people here who get what we're doing and not people here who cause problems. New people are always welcome in this community. We will welcome anyone in that wants to learn. But the thing of it is, if you're going to be disruptive and you're going to act idiotic and you're not going to listen and you're going to come in and think you know everything and you're going to cause problems and you're going to prevent us from doing our research and you're going to prevent us from learning, you will be gate-kept the fuck out of my community, and I do not care. I have a massive wall. This is a voluntarist society. I am at the top of the hierarchy. There is no one else at the top of the hierarchy. This is not an inclusive safe space. This is an exclusive community of people who are serious about solving this problem, and the people who are in the community know why I gatekeep, and they know why I block people, and they know why I call people retards on the internet. They understand all of this stuff. Those are the people that we want. We do not want the people like fucking phony, like, you know, intellectually dishonest JD DeLay. He can actually go fuck himself. Like when the moment that someone shows me that they're intellectually dishonest is the moment that I never think about them again. We don't want people like Adam King who are going to call us psychotic and then throw us under the bus. He can literally go fuck himself. We don't want people who are going to cause problems like even Tommy. And man, I do actually have a personal appreciation for Tommy, but Tommy's been causing me a lot of problems, and so therefore I have to go, nope. Now, don't get it twisted. I will use Tommy for content. If I feel like streaming Tommy's stream, I will absolutely do it. I will stream that Chad guy's stream. I will stream Matt Retardio's stream. And I don't care about any of it. Do you want to know why? Because I'm using their streams in order to follow the far left. And if they have the best stream following the far left, I'm going to snipe their content. And there ain't shit they can do about it because they're public on the internet. It's all fair use. They can cry all they want. They can insult me all they want. I don't fucking care. We are in the very best position of any people fighting the far left right now. There is no group of people doing what we are doing. Absolutely none. And so we just keep going. And I'm incredibly excited about this now. I'm feeling fucking great. All right. Massive vindication for me. Massive fucking W. Best stream ever. Tears about me all over the place. Calls of me being a modern day McCarthy. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yup. Exactly. The socialists and the communists respect me more than the right does. The socialists and the communists fear me more than the right does. And so the right can dick around and do whatever the fuck they want. I really don't care. Because I will continue to be the new modern day McCarthy that is the greatest enemy that the far left has on this planet. And all I have to do is listen to them and report what they say accurately. And that's it. Let them undermine themselves. Let them always fear being recorded. Maybe if they fear being recorded all the time, they will shut the fuck up and stop pushing communism. All right. That's all I got, guys. I'm gonna go hang out and enjoy my vindication. And yeah, I guess I'm talking to Enrique Tarrio tomorrow at 2 p.m. I guess. I don't know what we're gonna talk about. I think this is probably gonna go horribly wrong. But I guess we'll see. I'll be like, what do you want? What do you want? Why am I here? And they can say whatever thing they want to say, and they'll probably call me Antifa and a terrorist and all this stuff, whatever, it doesn't matter. And then I will be streaming tomorrow at 5 p.m. I don't really know what I'm streaming yet. We'll find something good. That's it, guys. Take care. We'll see you soon.
How are you feeling? How long have you been here?
3 months, May 17th.
And what brought you?
That's difficult to answer.
playing the piano for people has eventually resulted in your being here in the hospital.
That's difficult to answer.